This is the Above Average Podcast, and you are listening because you want an above average life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Above Average Podcast, the podcast where we talk to above average people about their above average lives. Now today, I'm fanboying a little bit because I've wanted this guy on since I decided to start a podcast, and I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, nah, he's too busy. I had the self-doubt. But he's here, Mr. Matt Reed. How are you doing, buddy? All right?
I'm ruddy fine.
Ruddy fine.
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm bringing ruddy back. I think it's a good word
back,
that needs to be. Yeah.
Amazing. So, Matt Reed is a stand-up comedian. You've been a stand-up comedian for 24 years, is that correct?
Yes, it is. I started very late 99, and till present.
Till present. Amazing, mate. So take me back to sort of young Matt Reed, right? Did you still have the long hair back then?
When I started, I didn't actually. I looked like a chubby Dale Winton, which was absolutely horrendous. But I grew my hair out pretty shortly after that. But when I first started, I didn't. It was a complete accident. I never intended to get into stand up. But me and my friends we used to get mashed around his house on all kinds of stuff, and we just used to write sketches. We used to watch stuff like one of my heroes is Chris Morris, like Brass Eye and Jam and Nathan Barley. We used to watch like Brass Eye, and I just think, oh, these sketches are so dark.
Yeah.
And we used to write our own sketches, and then we started filming them. We had a right laugh with them, and then my mate noticed in the paper. He says, "Oh, look at this! It's a sketch writing workshop. We should go along to that."
Nice,
because we're like kind of taking it seriously, and we're like, oh, if we just send this video off to the telly, then we'll be on soon. Because we always used to assume the telly was just this office where you can, oh yeah, if you want to be on telly,
just send it in, and they're like, oh yeah, this will do. Yeah,
we've just got a factory full of people just watching videos. Knackers have sent in, going, oh yeah, I think we should be on telly. Oh, you should. So we had these sketches, and do you know what? Some of them were quite funny, and I remember still have a little chuckle thinking back to them myself. Ludicrous stuff like. One of them was just, you know, when your mates like are so aggressive to you, when they make you like slap you on the arm,
yeah.
And it was like that was just like, how are you doing? And then it just escalated into like a knife fight. But they were like, but they were just like they were still chatting on as if it was like they were fine. They were like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, like squaring up to each other, like taking swipes again. Oh yeah, where you going on holiday? Oh, Tuscany. Tuscany, that sounds lovely. But at the same time, just like having swipes at each other with knives. And we did all that, and we went to the Hyena in Newcastle, which was a massive club then. It was so lovely when it was downstairs. It was so nice. And went there, and Arnold Brown was there. He's massive in comedy. He's one of the original people that was on at the Comedy Store.
Nice.
He helped write The Young Ones. He was in The Young Ones.
Wow, nice.
And the Comic Strip Presents. Yeah. And so his opinion like meant a lot to us, you know, like, ooh. And it was just me and my two mates, Farron and Michael, and just loads of Amdram people, like middle class bored rich people. They were just, and he was going down. He was showing all these sketches of stuff we watched, like The Fast Show and Partridge and stuff. And everyone, like all the Amdram people, no, never seen it. And we were like, oh yeah, we watch this. And then there was so we were like watching that. And then he was going down the thing, going, okay, what's your sketch? And this woman was like, oh, wouldn't it be brilliant? Get this, if a bear was driving a car. And we were like, right. And she was like, oh, that's it. And you'd see Arnold going like, right. And then he got to us, and like he really liked our sketches. And he was like, oh, hang on. Which like made us so happy. And then he would go, but it made us so unpopular in the room because he would go down and he said, oh, what's your sketch? He was like, oh, this man, and he's got wings and that. And he said, okay, the ending's rubbish. And he come back to us, he goes, how would you finish that sketch? And we go, oh wait, maybe this could happen. Mm-hmm. And he went, that's much better, write that down. So we were just like the SWATs.
Did you feel like you were in there?
Yeah. But like everyone hated us because they had like obviously spent a lot of their time thinking, oh, this is great. And just like these
Well, that's the thing with comedy, though. Sometimes you've got to proper dumb it down to the point where it's like if you think too much into it, it doesn't work. Like
there's a lot like the high end ones, you know, like the you call them Edinburgh comics, you know, the ones that'll do the show, and it's all like, yeah, I've read a pamphlet. I think I'll pass this knowledge on, but slightly more amusing than the pamphlet. And you just say whatever. But sometimes it's done really well. There's some great lads. Rob Orton, he's brilliant. Tim Key, he's very good. Josie Long. Some very, very good Stuart Lee. I mean, he's brilliant, you know. But occasionally, you just want a good knob joke, you know.
Yeah.
So he came to us, and then after that, he came up to us. He said the nicest thing I've ever had from anyone like that ilk. He came up and goes, "I'm going to start dropping your name at cocktail parties early, so I get ahead of everyone if you keep writing like that." And I was like, And then you see the Amdram people like and side-eyeing, and we didn't care, we weren't going to hang out with them.
Yeah.
And one of them was, well, have you tried stand-up? Like, as if like, oh, it's the Holy Grail, you'll never be able to do that. And like, well, have you ever tried stand-up, seeing as you're so good at sketches? And I was like, no, I haven't. And like, what do you want to? Like, as a kind of a challenge? And I was like, all right then. And my mates bottled it. They were getting, no, I didn't want anything to do with it. And I went, oh no, I'll give it a shot, like. Because I always...
But you were the only one that
decided...
decided
Yeah, I was out
right.
of the three of us. I went, I'll give it a go. And I went and I did it. It was in the Three Horseshoes in Leamside, in near where I used to live. And my mum was there, my dad was there, which was very rare that they came out together. And my brothers and my girlfriend. And I've never seen 4 more nervous people. It was only a tiny pub room. We had a few people in. I remember the headliner was Kevin Hayes, an Irish comic. And... I went on. I did 5 minutes of just like chatting about working at the supermarket where I worked, and got some. I mean, the minute I got the first laugh, I was like, "All right, this is all right.
This is going well.
Yeah, I like this." And then I got some people went, "Oh, do you want to do my gig? Do you want to do my gig?" There's 2 people that booked gigs. Went, "Do you want to do my gig?" And it wasn't paid; it was just for free. And I just went, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind." So, and like the whole writing process with me 2 mates, I'd stand in front of them in the bedroom, and go like, "This is what I've thought of this week," and they'd go like, "No, I don't like that. How about this?" And would write it together, and then they'd say, "How about this?" So I'd do my version of whatever they'd just said.
Yeah,
and I just loved it. I mean, the next couple of gigs were horrendous.
like downhill.
Oh,
bad
so
kind.
down. I did one in Sunderland. It was in what was it? Wine Lodge. Was it?
Oh, why? There we go. That says it
yeah,
all.
yeah. It was horrible, and it was like I thought it was a proper gig, but it wasn't. It was like a joke competition, and just people getting up and doing one joke at a time, and then at the end there was like 3 people doing 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was one of the 3 people, but it was in the middle of Sunderland. Yates Wine Lodge, that was it.
Wow.
Middle of Sunderland.
Yeah.
And these lads came on, just started telling the most horrendously racist jokes. And we were like, I'm not going on here. I'm not doing this. And like
racist for the sake of being racist.
Yeah, it was horrible. The one bloke, the first bloke that got up, he looked around and went, hang on, I'm just checking if there's any in before I tell this joke. And instantly we all looked like, said, well, this is not for us.
Yeah.
And it nearly put us off, because I thought, oh, that's what it's like. It wasn't. It was just a really badly organised thing. And the people that did look after comedy, that's a good thing about comedy. It's a very inclusive. I was going to say sport. It's not a sport. Very inclusive industry. So it didn't like that. But then next one I did Washington Arts Centre, and I was on the headline.
That sounds a bit more.
It was lovely. It was such a high Arts Centre, or Yates's Wine Lodge, who was on last? It was Toby Foster, and who's still a good friend of mine. And I said, "Oh, what are you doing at them?" He says, "Oh, we're just filming this thing." And that guy was so excited, because I went, "Oh, you stand up, so you get to film stuff." And he was filming this program. I says, "Oh, what's it called?" He says, "Oh, it's about a little social club in just outside Manchester." And I was like, "All right, that sounds fun." He says, "Oh yeah, we'll see how it goes." It was Phoenix Nights, wasn't it?
Wow.
He was a drummer from Phoenix Nights. That's
nice.
Toby. And
that didn't click when you were saying it. I was like,
yeah, and I was like, all right, that sounds good. And then sure enough, that came out, and I was like, I've met that guy. And then that made us realize that stand up can open so many doors. And I never thought about it. I went, wow, all these professional stand-ups, that must be amazing. And it was always just a hobby. It was never even considered to be a career.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it going like, well, this is all right. And then eventually I'd start getting like 10s, 20 quids.
Yeah.
I got paid by the stand was very helpful in not Newcastle, it didn't exist then, in Edinburgh and Glasgow. We used to do that a lot, and it was so much fun. And we used to get paid like 80 quid, and we're like, whoa, this is amazing. It was a tiny little brown envelope.
It's nice to be paid for something that you really enjoy, though, isn't it?
I mean, like one of the reasons I still do this job is like because it feels like I haven't got a job.
Yeah,
it feels like I don't have to. Like my friend Lee Kyle, he's got he's got a great bit where he just goes, he says, me teachers always said I'll never amount. He says, I think they've underestimated how little I'm willing to live on if it means I can get up at noon. I was like, that rings so true. Like that. Because academia and all that was never for me. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't.
No, yeah.
I don't like that. I like to learn on my own. Like I like to learn about stuff I like. I couldn't like maths and all that. Just noise in my head. I can't deal with it. And it's the same way like a lot of my friends where they'll always be successful because they get all the admin, then do all the business side of comedy and stuff. I'm just like, can I not just be funny?
Yeah, but the question is, which one of you is probably happier?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like sitting down. Even me. I mean, at tax time, it's usually my mates that can do their admin, like, because I've got 3 shoe boxes full of receipts and a heart full of panic. come January the 29th.
Yeah, but
like,
being in this business as well, and I've seen the tax sheet, and it's like, oh, fucking hell. But I'm curious, how did you feel with those first initial gigs? Like when you hear your name being called on stage, how does it feel starting out to be at the side of the stage, going, this is my time, this is my time? Were you personally nervous, or were you just kind of like, get me the fuck up there?
Yeah, well, the very first time I was so excited, and everybody else was nervous for us, and I kind of felt like I was babysitting them, going, it's all right, it doesn't. And I always knew from the time, like, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone, people, like, put comics on pedestals, and they go, oh God, you're so brave. And there was one time I was on the train, and it was like a little comrade, it was a ram train, and we're all in the vestibule, and we're knocking into each other, and the train stopped suddenly, and everyone like shugged into each other, and it was a nice little, we're all in this together moment, and then we all like bonded, and everyone started chatting, and we're going around everybody, and like, oh, what do you do, and like, and stuff, and I knew it was coming around at me, and I went, oh God, this is gonna be awful. And we'd gone around. There was a nurse. There was one lad. He was a delivery driver, and one of the lads was a squaddy, and he'd just come back from like Iraq, and he says, "Oh, what do you do?" And I says, "Oh, I'm a stand-up comedian." And the squaddy who'd just come back from what was, and went, "Whoa, couldn't do what you do." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was just, "What are you talking about?" Like, if I have a bad day, someone goes. Right? If you have a bad day, you lose a life, a limb, or a friend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. It's insane how much people put on this, and I've never had that. I mean, I feel it when I die. Like, when I die on stage, it's I had some terrible gigs recently, just before Christmas, but like, I always go on like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So you kind of like just see it as like, this is exciting for me, and it
doesn't. Like,
there's no pressure on the end result, kind of thing. You just enjoy doing it yourself.
Of course, and I look at it and I go, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this, and if I enjoy it, and you can always tell the comics that are dead behind the eyes, that are just like, and then I said, and you can tell them just reeling the jokes off like that. You can tell the crowd are just going to go, what do you want me to do with this?
It's the energy that you bring to it as well. Yeah. Like, if you're just trying to get through your material, people can tell.
You've got to belong on a stage. If you look for a second like you're pretending that you're there, because there's a lot of acts at the minute that I'm not keen on, but have got the formula right of they're not comics so much as like they're pretending to be comics, and they're acting because they know how it works, they know the rhythm of a joke, and they can fool a crowd into thinking that and I know that sounds ridiculous, because like,
I get it.
People are laughing because of what they're saying, but it's the premise
level,
it's the
there's
idea,
nothing behind it.
It's like enforced interaction, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and my least favorite one's the way when an act will be on stage and they'll go, "Oh, what's your name?" And there'll be some minor like, "What's your name?" Is that your partner? No, it's my brother. And then they'll act as if it's the funniest thing they've ever heard on stage, and they'll drop the mic, they'll go like that, they'll go, "Oh, I can't believe it." Shut up. It doesn't matter. Like, that's pretending to be funny. Like, that's. Yeah. Years ago, I was on tour with, I'll just drop a name here. I was on tour with Jim Jeffries, the Australian comic. He's massive, you know. He's on chat show in America and all that. He's huge. And like, back then he was touring the UK. He was doing really well. He's a brilliant comic. He's very good comic. And he was having a bad time at the time, and he was driving back to London on his own. I lived in London at the time. Yeah. And he was going to drive back to London on his own after a string of horrible events that happened to him. And he said, "So yeah, I'm driving back, mate." I was like, "All right. Do you want some company?" He was like, "Oh, would you?" Because I found out his radio was broken as well on the car. So he's driving back to London from, I think it was Stockton. And so that's a lot. And eventually it took us about 7 hours because roadworks sent us around. Like, so he would have been in the car on his own going through a bad time. Yeah. So I sat with him. And
what a nice guy, man.
He was such a he was such a good guy. And we were chatting there, and he was just... And he absolutely nailed it for me. He goes, because believe it or not, Jim Jeffries used to be in musical theatre. He's a very good singer, very good dancer. And he says that's why I got into it, because I would sing and I would dance. He says, but there's an awful lot of people in musical theatre that go and study musical theatre because they love musical theatre and want to be part of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big thing with comedy as well. There is people in comedy because they've got to do it. I've got to do it. I need to do it. Mm-hmm. There's a friend of mine, Louise Young. She's naturally funny. If she didn't have comedy, I don't know what she'd be doing either. Lee Kyle, again, like a lot of the North East lads. There's and Harriet, a friend of mine, Harriet Dye. There's a lot of naturally brilliantly funny comics that have to do comedy because
Yeah.
they couldn't do anything else.
There's like, they're like pulled to it. It's the
Yeah.
natural. The thing is, it's obviously one of those things that you kind of, I could say you're born with maybe the natural like comedy, like the way to turn something on a wit to kind of just come out with something clever, like make people laugh as you go along. Was that something that was there for you, like growing up? Did you have that, like that natural sort of wit to rinse people, to sort of?
Well, yeah, I was quite small through school, so I kind of like it's not the classic. I just made people laugh to avoid getting bullied, but it kind of was in a way. Like there's a couple of lads who I'd try and entertain rather than like run away from.
It's a good strategy, though.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
I'm still alive, and I went to Horton Keep Your School. So, yeah, I was like, I needed like something like that. But my dad was a very funny man. He was an absolute arsehole alcoholic, but he's very, very witty, and I picked a lot of that up from him, I think. And like, hopefully, I mean, my son's quite witty, and his brother, like, they're very quick, and I think. Because I've been around them all my life, and I think they pick a lot of that up.
I imagine so. Having a comedian for a dad is pretty much
But do you know what? He's absolutely. I thought he'd be happy with it and like proud and show off and that. Nah, like to the degree where I says to him, I says, "Oh, because he's 18, my son. Oh man, you don't look like you've got an 18-year-old. Shut up." And but my son,
you know what, you actually do. That's the first thing. When you told me, how old are you now? Is it
44?
44. Yeah. I was gonna say 45. I'm glad I didn't.
Wow.
But
wow, an extra year.
But yeah, that's the first thing I think I noticed about you. I don't know whether it's just the young look, or
don't work.
do you moisturize?
Yeah. I'd be a savage if I didn't. It's. I mean, I think it's just because I don't really work that hard. That's I get up, I travel on the train. I sleep in most days. Yeah. I got up at 1:15 yesterday just because I could. I mean, I was on my PlayStation all 5, like, but
so it balances out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I did, but with my son, he's 18 in May. He's coming up. So I said to him, well, when you're 18, you know, you can come to my gigs. I'll get you into the show and all that. And he just went. I went, oh no, well, fair enough. If you don't want it, and I thought, why not? Wait, I'm his dad. You know, it never has to be the same. Like you're never interested in what you do. You know, it's totally uncool. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then for his birthday, his 17th, this is what you want for your birthday. He goes, oh, can I have some money? I'm going on holiday with my girlfriend. And I was like, all right, then where are you going? Edinburgh Festival. I was like, so where every comedian but your dad is, yeah? Oh, brilliant.
That was just a kick in the balls.
Oh God, hurt, man. And then I was like, okay, well, I was still trying to be a cool dad. If you want to see any shows, you know, just let us know. No, I'm not right. And I was like, okay. Couldn't even let us do that. And then on the night, he texted us, oh, can you guys tickets to go and see Paul Sinner tonight? And I was like, no. He's very, very popular. And I can't get you tickets for the night. And
I've got Paul, but not that much Paul.
I texted Paul, and he says, oh, mate, it's sold out. He says, well, I can get him tickets for tomorrow afternoon. And then so I went, right, I'm going to be cool, Dad, again. I think you'll find there'll be some tickets on the door for you tomorrow, you and your girlfriend. He said, nah, we're all right. I was like, oh, you little prick.
Wow. The joys of having kids.
No.
But going back to the gigs, like for the first timers, now obviously one of my favourite shows at the Stand is Red Raw, right? And it's one of those shows where obviously dirt cheap to get in. It's great. But you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know the kind of comedy that's going to come on. I know you've hosted a lot of those. I've filmed a few gigs. I filmed Jack English there as well. It was amazing. I love him. But what is it? Do first timers ever come up to you and like ask you for advice, or is it, or do they just think they know it all? Like, do they come up to you and be like, as a veteran, and like, oh Matt, how do I do this? Like, I'm such a fan. Or is there any advice that you give to first timers?
Yeah, there is. It's like stay at the front of the stage is one of the best pieces of advice I ever got. Like for because if you, like I say, if you look like you don't belong there, the crowd instantly go, well, if you don't belong there, what are you doing there? So you stay at the front, you talk to people, you've got to look like you belong there, because if you, they're like sharks. You put blood in the water.
Yeah.
The crowd will. They'll not they'll not particularly turn and be nasty, but they will just be completely indifferent. And if indifference is worse than being nasty, if they're shouting, at least it's like a story. But if everyone's like, "What's your story?" I told some jokes to people who just sat there going, "All right, that's worse." Yeah. It's horrible. But like the newcomers, there's a lot at the minute that they're going from the school of some of the more cocky comics now, and they're coming up going, oh, I'm going to smash this, I'll destroy this, watch this, and you watch them and you just go, you've got absolutely nothing. The genuinely funny ones tend to be more humble.
Yeah.
But I think and it can be out of like, you know, nerves, like the overcompensation.
Natural, yeah.
There's a lot of people, like, when they start out, I'm guilty of this myself. I did some like shocking jokes, you know, like kiddie murder jokes and paedophile jokes. God almighty, if I hear another nonce joke.
They're quite common though. Yeah,
it's so boring. It's so boring. What's your name, John? I bet you're a nonce. Hey. It's not funny. Like, why is that funny?
That's like school ground humor. That's what I used to say to you. That's a lot of that kind of comedy. Would you say that is like locker room comedy, like between two lads where they just rinse each other, and that's kind of it?
Oh, like the roasts are making a comeback now. That was on Comedy Central, and I don't particularly. I think comedy's hard enough without reintroducing a nasty element to it. I went and watched the battle raps, and I took part in one, and the lad who I was doing it with phone goes, "Oh, we're not going to really go for it, are we?" I was like, nah, we're not really. And then so I took loads of stuff out, and it turns out that he didn't. And like, so I was like quite gentle with him, and his were absolutely horrible. It's like, hang on a minute.
You just want to get one up on you there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think, but and like I was listening, and I was just like, oh, I didn't particularly like that. Like, it's just the idea of just shouting at people like that is like, I don't say that as
it's like cheap laughter, and
it's for little incelly kids, you know, like it's you either playing on Fortnite or you're laughing at people calling someone a prick online, you know. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but I understand that I'm not the target. That's why I'll never say like, oh, that comic's shit. I'll just say that comic's definitely not for me. It's like, it's not my target audience, you know. Yeah. There's a lot of comics at the minute I'm just like, I'd never pay to watch, but I understand why people do, you know. Like Mrs. Brown's Boys, I'd rather hammer me cock flat with a brick.
Do you know what? I used to really love Mrs. Brown's Boys when I was young. Like, when it first came out, I thought it was like, this is like, there hasn't been that much good comedy shows that I can remember. And then Mrs. Brown's Boys came out, and I loved it, and it was on every Christmas, and I loved it. And then all of a sudden, everyone just turned on it, and it became this like laugh at me kind of show, didn't it? It kind of went from like something that had something, in my opinion. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how it is for a comedian, but obviously I felt like it had something going, and then all of a sudden everyone was just like, nah, it's been done, like it's tried, tested, and dead.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with it was never that original, and the jokes in it were, well, I mean, like just either old pub jokes or just outright stolen, and there's a lot of. Apparently, Brennan's a really nice. Like I say, I wouldn't say it's shit. I'd just say it's not the target audience at all. You know, like I'm not in the least bit the target audience for that. Who's it? Like there's podcasts that are absolutely massive now, and I appreciate that they are massive. But like, of course, it's not for me. Like, like it's just.
So this podcast's not for everyone. Like, I try and steer it more towards people's mindset and them doing, like I said, about above average people who do more than, you know, something a bit different rather than I go to an office, go home, watch Netflix and take a shit. I want someone that's a bit different. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, just the other day, like, I was doing Lichfield on Friday for Manford's Comedy Club's brilliant little gig. It's a 560 seat, I think, that sold all but 3 seats. Nice. It was me, a couple of lads who I'd never worked with before, and one of my favourites, Rob Deeran, who's a brilliant musical act. And do you know what? Like every night, I love a musical act. I used to be in a musical double act for years, and I love a decent musical act. There's some dreadful ones, like just changing the lyrics. You're like,
I think MC Hammersmith is my favourite. I think
MC Hammersmith. I'm on with him in March on the stand.
Nice.
March 20th.
I really want to come with that, Lewis. We got to go. You're 18 now. We can take you as well.
Yeah, you've got to see Hammersmith. Like he's wonderful. In fact, me and Hammersmith's got a lovely history. We did the Gong show at the Ark, and I'm the Gong Meister. Have you been to the Gong?
I haven't. No.
Well, it's where the crowd get cards, and you get 5 minutes, and the crowd get to see if you get chucked off stage. So I give them a minute's grace, but if the crowd hate them, the cards go up, and I gong them off. And like people have travelled for hours because the prize is like good money, you know. Yeah. So people travel for hours to try, but some people get a minute in after travelling from Manchester, and people go, boom, off you go, son. But MC Hammersmith, obviously, he got through to the clap off. Yeah. There was a lad called Simon Lomas, who's a very good friend of mine, a very good comic. And a lad called Callum Oakley, who does support for the Paul Smith, you know, the Scouts. Yeah. He does support for him and that. And they were like in the early days, you know, and they were on the Gong show. And I came to MC Hammersmith. He'd just done the rhyme where he makes the rhymes up from everything everyone said. And I held my hand above his head. That was the clap off. I held my hand, and we've got like a decibel meter.
Nice.
And it was absolutely clear he was going to win.
Yeah.
Place went up, and I just went, nah, I'm not having it. He's not winning. It's cheap tricks. It's cheap tricks. It's not comedy. It's cheap tricks. There was no jokes there. All he did was rhyme stuff. I'm sorry. And Will was like, right. And I went over, and it was between Simon and Callum, and Callum won. And anyway, about a couple of months later, I bumped into Will, who's MC Hammersmith, and I was talking to him. I'm sorry about that, mate. And he was like, no. He said, and he went, no, I understand. And I was like, no, honestly, I know you were probably upset because you definitely won that.
Yeah.
I said, but like, I think you're great. You're very good at what you do. There was, I'm not taking anything away from that, but there was no jokes. It was just it just rhymed. And now he is one of the best actors. If I had a comedy club, I'd book him all the time. Like, he is one of the best actors I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because he's funny, man. He's got this. He's got a rap online about Waitrose. It's one of the funniest things you've ever seen. It's so funny.
I do follow him on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, and the one where he's in the car as well. Shut more. Like, he's on about being like a player, and he's like, I've shut more shafts. Like, having sex with him, he goes, I've shut more shafts than Margaret Thatcher. It absolutely killed me. Like, I was
Fucking
he's
hell.
so good.
Yeah,
like his rhymes are like, it's not just like just.
They're not basic. They're intricate.
Yeah,
And like
so good. And like
amazing.
he got a rap with one of his like legitimate rap favourites the other day, and we went down in London, like loads of like proper like hardcore hip hop fans, and it's just like little hello.
He's always in the,
because
like,
he looks
stuff.
like if you got the word geek in Pictionary, you'd draw him. You know what I mean? Like he's brilliant, and he's such a lovely guy. But like we had that thing where I just went, no, that's not comedy. And then he kind of went, all right, well. And rather than like be angry about it, what he did was like, well, I'll make a comedy. And he basically went, right, I'll show you. And he did. And I was like, good on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was delighted.
That's what you want though, isn't it? You don't want to go, you know nothing. And
Yeah.
it's like, don't change, keep doing the same shit. That is good, but isn't working
he was,
at the most. Yeah.
And now he's genuinely someone I'd book
he's
every day
class.
of the week. He's brilliant.
I remember I also saw the Britain's Got Talent winner, the Lost Voice guy. He's been there quite a few times. I remember seeing him, and he had a partner as well who did it with a really tall guy. I remember
David Callahan, Speak and Spell.
Yes, that was it. And I remember seeing them, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I was watching like Britain's Got Talent on the TV as one past, and I was like, I know that guy. I've seen him at the stand, and I was like, this is brilliant. But I was so chuffed when he won.
Oh, I was sitting in Leeds on the couch, and I remembered it was the final. Cause, I mean, I don't particularly watch it. They've asked us to go on it a couple of times. I was like, absolutely not. He was on, and I knew he was on, and I went, oh, it's the final today. And my girlfriend, she went, all right, we'll check. And just as I put the thing on, it was the count, like it was him, and like I saw him like lose his mind when he won.
Bless
and
him.
we were just like, because like I love the guy. He's great.
Yeah.
He just lives around the corner from me. He's dead sound. He's one of the nicest guys, and I always make him laugh so much at gigs, like because I try and wind him up. Like there was an act on stage, and he was next to us, and I don't know what he was terrible. This act, like objectively, he was terrible. And I just leaned over to Lee and I said something, and when Lee laughs, like it's such a guttural note. It's like that. That sounds like I'm making a horrible, but that's exactly what it sounds like when he laughs. And it's like a comedy hooter going off. Yeah. And he was like stood at the green room at the stand, and there's like high stool, and he was sat in there, and he had difficulty getting up. I had to help him up, but like he needed to get back in the green room quickly because he knew he wasn't going to stop laughing, and he was ruining his lad set because I went, well, he's fucking shite. And like, he was like, and he had to try and get off the stool. And the thing is, he's like crawling down slowly, like so. He's like slithering off the stool to get backstage while going, and I just had to at the end I had to like grab him and go, fucking get in there, man, you prick. And he was like, and I had to slam the door behind because the sound lad at the stand was like, will you just keep it down? We were like, because the one thing about comics is we're very, very mature. I think that's
yeah, I can tell.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, it was so funny though. Like, and I've had dead long journeys with Lee, and it's when he won Britain's Got Talent, he still kept all his like. There's a lot of people because obviously he's massive demand after you win.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
and
not that I would know, but
he was doing Saltburn like for me mate, and it's a great club, the Saltburn Club, lovely little theatre right in the middle of town, and it sells out every time. It's beautiful old theatre, and we're doing that, And so he shows up for that, like 2 days after he's on telly winning with one of the biggest talent shows in the world.
But that's the humble attitude that you talked about before, isn't it?
But this last, I'd never seen, because he's always got a carer with him, a driver, and this last goes absolutely stunning. And I was like, "Oh, hello, who are you?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, where's the green room?" I was like, "Oh, just there." She goes, "Yeah, I've just got to make it right for Lee before he comes in." And he went, Lee come in, and I was like, "New carer, Lee?" He just went, "Yee." I was like, "You fucking absolute dog."
Oh, what a sound guy! I love it.
Like his car was lovely, and she was like, "Whatever, he's a prick." I get on dead well. Like he's always got good people around him. That's just the reason I like him.
Amazing. So speaking of people who were bombed on stage, is there any examples of ones that you've seen first time who totally got it wrong, who either upset the audience or really did something that was against the? Is there any examples that you can tell a story of?
Oh, some of the acts that you see on stage are just. There's one lad, he's from Brighton. I'll not say his name, but he's so far out of my pleasure zone. Like that sounded wrong. He's he's so far out of my taste.
Yeah.
And one of my least favorite things. I love Vic and Bob. I love them, but they're guilty for spawning a lot of people to think being wacky is just going, "Oh, I'm a pencil. Oh, hello, Mr. Brick." And you're like, what's funny about that? You're just being an absolute imbecile. Like, there's nothing funny. If you've got a joke, I mean, like, where Vic and Bob, like, some of the stuff they do, oh, God, I laugh for days watching Bob Mortimer. It hurts. Like, that show they did, that sitcom they did with Matt Berry and Morgana.
Oh, I love Matt Berry.
What was that called?
I have no idea.
That one, Happy... I can't remember what it was called, but it was a brilliant sitcom. And it was brilliant because it was so irreverent. It was so irreverent, and but it wasn't like over the top. I'm not like, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm a sock." And, we call it like badges and jam comedy, where people come up and just say the most random thing. Yeah. And there's one lad from Brighton, he keeps doing that, and he was on.
And you're just like,
and he was so bad. Like it was a tough room in Edinburgh. I'd set it up. Like, I'd got them laughing finally, and I was like, right, it was a midnight show. Everyone was pissed. I'd finally get them to pay attention. Got them a few laughs out at the moment, right? And I put him on. And he came out, and he was always, "Oh, I've got 2 pencils. Oh, what would they say to each other?" And this bit about a caterpillar cake, and he absolutely buried the gig.
Oof.
And I was watching go like that, and I went on stage, and I went, right. I didn't get it. But you know what? I'm sure he does well elsewhere. And then, for the rest of the festival, the evil eyes I got off him. I just went, as commentator though, if you're a commentator, if someone bombs and you don't acknowledge it, that looks like you've gone against the crowd and gone, "No, you're wrong."
Yeah.
And I've done that a few times. There's another lad I did it in Birmingham. He's not a very nice lad either, this comic. And he, tanked where people were like, "Tuxie," and everything. Like, people actually wrote reviews on the. It was like
the cards that give it.
They wrote reviews just saying how bad he was, and I just went, "Yep, well, we'll have a break, think about what's just happened, and we'll come back. And don't worry, we've got a great act on last." It was Paul Sinner, actually. I remember the actor who was on last who saved it. It was Paul Sinner, and I said, "Don't worry, we'll have a good time." And when I got back to the green room, he goes, "Well, I would like a bit more solidarity there, Matt." And I went, "I'm sorry, mate. Like." Yeah, I'm not here. I'm not for the make your ego feel a bit better club. I'm here for the entertain the 300 people who've paid 20 quid a ticket. Club.
Yeah, you lose the room. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. Is it hard as a competitor to bring that back all the time? Like,
unless you do that, if you acknowledge that act was absolute drivel, then you can win them back like that. But and that's pretty much the only way. Because if you go out and go, "No, you're wrong, he was great," there's 20 people going, "Tell me what's fucking good, son."
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, I guess like a Shark Tank.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like I'm not there to stroke. Like, as a competitor, I do well. I often there's times where people come to me, "Oh, I thought you were the best one," which is like, it's not a brag, it's a fact, it happens. But I thought you were the best one at night, and I'm the competitor, and there's a lot of people go, "Oh, that shouldn't be the case. You're there to set the night." I'm sorry, no. Like, my job isn't to make you look better. My job is to entertain those people, and if you want a better response than me, be better than me. Yeah. That's the only thing there is to do. Like, you can't expect me to be a little bit shitter to help you out. You can sod off. Yes,
because then it backfires on you in the end. If you're just like, putting all these people before, like, "Oh, look how great he was. Yeah, he came around." Like, if there were really, like, there was a young guy once, I remember. I think he had like He had like cool hair. It was like all dreaded and beaded, like quite short and stuff like that. Like and he was really quiet, really shy. And we all kind of cheered him on because he tried his best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I can't remember who the compere was. It might have been yourself. Came on and like said, you know what, like he did, like he tried, like that's nice. But if they're genuinely just trying so much that the flop, it's like or they're trying risky jokes that aren't landing, but keep pushing it too much. You can't. There's nothing you can do for them other than try and re-fire up the crowd. You know
exactly. Well, I've done that before. Like at Red Raw, I've been on with people who've done the first ever gig. They're so excited to do it, and it hasn't gone well. So, and I'll not go out and go, how's that the last embers of your dream and stamp on that. I'll not do that. I'll just go, look, like I say, look, that was his first ever go. Yeah, I mean, look, might not have worked, but that's not to say it won't the next time. Oh, come on. Like, a lot of you wouldn't do this, like, give it up at Red Raw, but if it's a professional night that's doing 20 minutes and they come out and they're getting paid where a professional could be getting paid, they come out and they die on their arse, and I go, well... don't worry, there'll be a proper comic along in a minute. Then fine, you know, like that. They've got to expect that. If I died on my hoop and the compere went out and tried to defend us, I'd be embarrassed.
Yeah,
I'd be like, don't do that. That's ridiculous. I like, there's some heckle, like I mean, like heckling's fine. Like the best heckle retort in the world, and this is one of the things I'll teach any young'un. I go, what do you do if someone heckles you? I says the best heckle retort you can have is just this glance. And this glance works every time, which admittedly on a podcast isn't the best thing, but it is getting filmed. But this is all you do. You go, that's it. You look like you're paying them as much attention as you can, and then go, and then just cut them off and like look away and like roll your eyes. Every single time that'll work. Right, nice. You can do it once per gig, and every single time that'll work.
Shuts them up.
Like you go, anyway. And it works brilliantly every time. But like, I mean, there's times where you'll get like repetitive heckles, and there's times where I'll be like, okay, and then I'll just go, do you know what? That's enough now.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm telling them off, but like, and what I'll do is I'll only know when the crowd's on my side. I'll say, look, I'm not being a dick here. There's people here paid, hear me, not you. Because I did that at Christmas at Middlesbrough. I was telling off. Christmas is a nightmare over comedy. Like, it's
really
work nights out. They've decided to go to comedy,
right.
which is a stupid idea. I mean, still do because we need the money, but it's a stupid idea because there'll be, out of 20 people, there'll be 6 of them want to get into comedy, and the 14 that don't will just want to chat because it's their work night out. And work nights out are notorious for having one person that'll not go out that often, and they'll go overboard. Like, you'll have, I don't know, like Jonathan from accounts will just be like, he doesn't go out normally, and like he doesn't know his limits. So he'll have like a bottle of wine before the meal, and he'll drink during the meal, and by the time he gets to the comedy, he's absolutely off his tits.
Lost,
And he'll be in the gig going, and you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, and so like in the gig I was doing in Middlesbrough, I was telling this bunch of lasses off in the front because they were right at the front. I invited it in a bit, and then they started chatting, and I went, okay, and it was a clear end to the chat, and they started chatting amongst themselves. I went, all right, keep it down. And they would get, what? I went, look, you're talking amongst yourselves. Like, when you talk to me, that's fine, but like, don't chat amongst yourselves while they act. So I went, all right, okay. And as I was doing this, it was a table of lasses chatting at the side, and I just went, are you not listening to what I'm doing? Like, be quiet. And one of them went, how dare you tell me to be quiet?
Wow.
And I went, well, I'll tell you how I dare. And it was foul language, like, but I said to them, I says, I'll tell you how I dare. I says, because a lot of people in this room, it's Christmas show, a lot of people in this room have paid 20 quid to hear professional comics and not hear, it's a bit harsh, but it was 4 lasses on and not hear some cunt going like a moron. At volume that is exceeding me, that's professionally amplified. So, and all our mates, like, instantly they did the go, oh, put their arm around it. I can't believe he said that. And I was like, but you're behaving like this.
You're being a twat.
And they were just like, they were like this for the whole, they weren't going to laugh for the whole show, and they eventually left just before the headline. I was like, suit yourself.
Good. Yeah.
Suit yourself. I'm sorry, but like, if it's the only time where people think it's in a band, right? If the band's playing like and it's super loud, then maybe you
can have another. Yeah.
But like, because you can still hear the music and you can watch the music. But at a comedy night where the whole point is to listen to someone talk, and if you're going like you deserve to get called out in front of everybody. 100%. You deserve to be embarrassed in front of people.
Well, I've done speaking gigs, like motivational speaking gigs, and you can see the people at the back like talking about something, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you talk during there's a break specifically for that, for starters,
exactly.
to go get your drinks and that. But just respect someone's time and respect their
You wouldn't
craft.
do it at the theatre, eh? If you got the theatre and you're watching something like that. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying to John, like, do you mind Henry V? It's absolute
It's just
insanity.
Stupid. It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Have you had many? Obviously, you said handling heckles. Is there anyone? I'm just curious. Is there anyone like the best heckle you've ever had, where it turned into like something that you visibly remember?
Oh yeah. I mean, the best. My set contains like examples of the best heckles I've ever had, because
nice.
they are. If the crowd is funny, if they come with a heckle that's brilliant, then I'm never gonna not give them the spotlight. I'll go, you know what, that was absolutely mint. But it's got to be clever. It's got to be clever.
Not just someone shouting out. Or, yeah.
There was I've got a clip from the Comedy Store of me, and I was talking to like Francis, what do you do? He goes, I train guide dogs for the blind. What a lovely thing. Someone in the back just shouted, it's not that funny, but it was so quick and well timed. This bloke at the back went, didn't see that coming. And I was like, and when he said that, I went like, I just put the mic on my head like that, and I tried my best not to laugh. I went, and then I just got angry because it was so funny, and then I had this mock anger on stage. I went, who do you? Whoa. Like everyone just started laughing loud because they knew I was going for it. I went, I'm going to allow that one, right? But there was the best one I ever saw. It wasn't at me. It was at Paul Sinner, and Paul remembers this. You know Paul Sinner?
I don't actually.
You know the Chase?
Yes.
Cinnamon.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Wow,
that's him. He's a brilliant comic. He's brilliant, and
nice.
I love the man to death. He's one of my favourite people on the circuit. He's just, and he's so clever. I mean, you know, he's like I think he's number 6 in the world quizzing or something. Oh, Europe.
Wow, nice.
He's very intelligent man, lovely guy, and this was years ago. We're doing Jonglers in Leeds. Jonglers was like this chain of clubs. It's collapsed now because the owners were absolute crooks.
That's like most of the ones around Newcastle as well.
Yeah, they're like absolute crooks. It all caved in on itself. Owed a lot of money, and excuse me. But it was notorious. Like Jonglers was you paid your mortgage, you got paid on time, you got paid a lot, and you got about. Like, I mean, back in the day, I think if you did the Leeds Jonglers, which is where this story's from, if you did Leeds, you did Thursday, Friday, 2 shows Saturday, show Sunday, you got 270 quid a gig, and a hotel.
Nice. And
on the Saturday in the between, there was a gig around the corner you could go and do, so that's another 200 quid. So you'd walk away with nearly $2,000 from the weekend, cash. And, well, not cash, it was a check next week. But you never put your hand in your pocket. I think you paid for your hotel, and then that came on the check as well. Yeah. But it was like... And the gig was brilliant. I loved it. But every now and again, the Jonglers gigs, there was one in like in Bow in London, and one in like in Battersea in London. They were just in Portsmouth. It was like an aircraft hangar. You couldn't hear anything. It was like hello. It was like,
God,
what is the point of this? But some of the gigs were awful. But some of them, I liked some of them. And this one, like this one in particular, Leeds, it was always a great gig. And I'm like very joke. The comp air, I was on first. The comp air was like, he's like, you all right? Like all pub gags. And Paul Sinner comes in, and he's a bit of a more of a cerebral comic. So he's like, he's a openly gay Asian man who used to be a doctor, and now he's a quizzer and all that. Yeah. And he's like, I'm an openly gay man, and it was very difficult for my family. You know, I thought it would be. And he's telling this story about coming out. Yeah. And this Geordie lad, oh god, it was the best.
Always the Geordies.
It was the best heckle I've ever had. He just, there was no way he could come back to it. Like, so Sinner was going, I was openly gay, and I was a doctor. And then this Geordie like, here mate, what are you doing? And Sinner goes, what do you mean? He goes, you're just telling us stories about your life. I was like, how do you come back from that? Because you can't argue with him.
Nope.
Of course, because that's what he was doing. Paul was just like, well, yes.
That's the only way you could come back is
yeah.
Go, yeah.
But like, I mean, and Jonglers was like that was a very heckly place. I mean, I remember going on and Bo Jones like, Northern Monkey, he's a Northern Monkey. And I was like,
oh god.
I was like, what is the point? And then I realised I was getting paid. And I was like, knock yourself out, son.
Yeah, keep it going.
Call his names all you want.
Well, I've seen loads of people getting kicked out the stand. I was in the Edinburgh Comedy Club a couple of Christmases ago. I'd never been to the stand before up there. It's very small.
It's tiny, isn't it?
It's fucking. I was expecting
I think it holds 86, maybe 100
barely,
with people standing at the back.
Yeah, it was so small. We were sat like right at the side of the stage, and there was this drunk guy in the audience at the very front, and he kept getting, the staff kept coming over, telling him to shut up, and then he'd go back to his seat, and then it was back and forth, back and forth. He was disrupting all the acts. And it was like, just kick him out. And they left it right till the end to kick him out.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then the friends and that, it was like drunk, middle-aged, sort of, you know, polo shirt, fat belly, bald head, you know what I mean? That kind of guy.
Billy Brexit,
And it was basically, doesn't know what the fuck he's voting for. And just, it was just, it's not a fun environment. And I think heckling's funny if you get it right.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And like, when you're back and forth with a comedian, it's amazing. Like, I've seen you 100%. Do it masterfully.
I love ripping into people. But, like, I never like to be nasty about it. Like, if I like a funny lookalikes are always good, you know. Like I'll always have a nice little bit of daft laugh with that. There was an old guy in the front the other day, and he looked like the bloke from Up. And I just went, all right, mate, how'd you arrive here? Balloon house, right? People obviously got it straight away, and the place went up, and he's not, but he didn't watch Up. You know, he was just like, balloon house. And then I went, first 20 minutes of your life that I've ever seen, heartbreaking, mate. Heartbreaking. He was like, what is happening?
Didn't have a fucking clue.
But I had some like lovely back and forths with people, you know. And that's what I like to do. Like I love to go out and like not have a plan, because I'll never have that gig again. That's what I love about comedy. Like because that's why I prefer to comedy, because every gig I'll do is different. Because I'm never gonna meet Davey the guide dog trainer again. There was a bloke that sold private jet flights in London. It's always different though. Like when you go, so I'm doing a gig at the stand in Newcastle. I'm like, what do you do? Fitter? What do you do? Oh, Sparky. All right. What do you do? Mechanical engineer. And you got to London. What do you do? I sell private jet time. All right, dear. What do you do? Yeah, I'm in the markets. I'm like, oh, yeah, I hate you.
it's harder to pull that out.
But no, it's the better, because I've never worked with those jobs before. So I'm like, right, what do you do?
So you get that air of excitement from it. Most people would probably crumble though, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, my best TikTok clip is me having to go on a copper in London.
Yeah, this is amazing.
it was so much. And the thing is, like, people, like, the comments on that, like, oh well, let's see what you're doing when the police aren't there. I never ever said I want to stop the police. I mean, maybe it's the Met, they're all rapists, but I don't want to stop the police. I was taking the piss out of a bloke in the front row, you know.
And he was all right.
And
he
was great. He was having a right laugh out.
Yeah.
Like he was having a really good fun with it. And I've got another clip about, like, there was a lass in the front, and she was obviously a lesbian, right? I mean, like, there's some people that dress in a certain way because they're gay. Yeah. And I was like, and she definitely had. And I says to her, I says, you look like, I think I didn't even ask her if she was gay. The first thing I said to her, I says, oh, you look like you own an Etsy shop, right? That was what I said to her. And she was like, yeah, all right. She had dungarees on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what? That's how I imagined
dungarees,
it.
Exactly. Dungarees, and she had Doc Martens on, and I was chatting to her, and she was lovely. She was called Gracie. She was a delight, and I says, well, what do you do for a living? And she was a bartender in a gay bar, and I says, all right, what's lesbian's favourite drink, for example? Like, just a weird question to ask her about working in a bar. Like, and I says, what's a lesbian? She went, oh, they're very much into rum. I went, are lesbians and pirates the same thing? And we're going into this whole, like, ridiculous conversation about that. But and there was a load of interactions about me taking the mick out of her for being gay, but nothing in like oh god, that's disgusting. It was playing on positive stereotypes, having a laugh with her. And the thing is, like, I want to put this clip up online because I think it's great. She was having a good time, but the camera never shows her, so you can't tell if she's having a good time or not.
Right.
Everyone else is howling. And I showed it to all my mates and just went, get a few more clips up first, because the internet is a cesspool, man.
It really is.
Because that, like I say, that copper clip I put up, they think I'm ripping it. Oh, he's having a good time, man.
People take everything so literally. There's a massive difference for everyone listening. There's a massive difference between you literally hating something and calling it out for your personal bias, and then playing with the idea of it. And that's what people don't understand. They just take it at face value. It's almost like everyone's got, like, this barrier up where they have to take everything at face value, and there can't be subtle nuances, there can't be layers to it. And
of course, but then you will get, like, a lot of the right, like the ones that are right wing comedians that we can't see anything, I've been deplatformed. Aren't you aren't you right now talking to 8 million people, you deplatformed poor man?
I don't think cancel culture even works.
Yeah,
I don't think it does.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure it exists. Like, there's people that'll get, I mean, look at Louis C.K. Like,
He's back.
Yeah, he's back. I got asked if I wanted to tour with him. Like, I do, like, open spot, like, open for him. Now, he is genuinely a genius, like, comedy-wise.
Yeah,
he's
he is.
one of the best comics I've ever seen. And it was my dream to meet him before everything had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went, do you want to work with him in Leeds? You can open for him. I was like, no, of course I don't.
It's hard to,
because you can't separate yourself from that. Like, you can't, and I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in it.
Because you kind of get tarred with that as well, don't you? If you go
And my girlfriend says you can if you want, but you know fine well, like, you might, even if you keep it on the law. But then what happens if you do start climbing the ladder? Go, oh yeah, it's Matt Reid. Someone go, didn't you one with that sex pest? Like,
what was Louis C.K.? So was he caught masturbating in the green room or something?
No, I wasn't caught. He invited lasses up to his hotel room, and I think he just whipped it out and started without asking or without.
Is that right? Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty much out of line, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no real coming back from that. But again, like I was saying this on another episode as well. Like, obviously that Logan Paul, I think, was it Logan or thingy, who went in the forest? Logan Paul obviously went in that forest, filmed all the dead people hanging from trees, cancelled, and then look where he's at now, you know, with all the energy drink and whatnot. And then you've got, like, Trump was shagging a porn star while his wife was pregnant, and everyone kicked off, and then somehow became president of the United States. Like, it doesn't work massively.
No. I mean, of course it doesn't. It's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Obviously, unless you're an absolute nonce, you know what I mean? I mean, look at, like, when you say Logan Paul. I mean, like, what, to me, just one of the least appealing people on the planet. Like, that, the nonsense of this whole shout loud enough till all your incel friends like decide to go along. I have got no time for anything like that. And there's these things like, there's at least one of the ones like there's a podcast called Trigonometry, and it's just contrarians saying the opposite of. I mean, some of it's probably got a point, and but I can't get past the smugness of them going, well, I think you'll find. I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, it's too
it's
serious.
The other way as well. It's the right and the left. I can't. I mean, I know it's a bit of a cop out to say I'm a centrist, but, like, I've got no time for that.
Yeah, because it's there's a lot of people now, like you said, like, online's a cesspit.
Yeah.
So, like, people in the comments are just, you know, they're so quick to make a passing comment. Like, there'll be something from this, for example, right? Like, I've had it in the past. So we say we do like a 2-hour-long podcast or something, right? And you take 30 seconds of a 2-hour-long contextual episode, and people judge the entire thing and you, your family, your entire past on 30 seconds. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's ridiculous, but it's
like,
daft.
I mean, and, like, contrarian seems to be a full-time job now. Like, there's all these. I mean, like, I'm unashamedly anti-Tory. Like, I can't stand it. And if you associate,
a lot of comedians are,
but if you associate yourself with people that are that inept and so obviously against the working class, then, like, I can't be around you. Like, I just cannot. Like, and it's not me being like, I can't, because I know what you have chosen to side with. And I'm not Labour. I can't stand Keir Starmer. I can't stand him. But, like, I'm just like, it's common sense about. It's just common sense, and the people on the right think they're making common sense. The people on the left think, and you just like, you've got to be able to know where the line's drawn, or you're not an adult. You're not an adult thinker. And my girlfriend said, like, made one of the most ideal points I've ever heard the other day. She went, the only people that get cancelled and all that and suffer from it are the ones that apologise. If you apologise, then you've admitted everything, and that's it. Like look at poor, like, Tiger Woods. Like, I thought that was the most disgusting dragging through the mud of a person I have ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, he slept around behind his wife's back. Horrendous.
He's Tiger Woods, though, at the end of the day.
You know what I mean? There is that. Like, of course he could, right? But the way that his sponsors made him go on television and apologise to the entire nation that he'd done that. Fuck you. That is none of my business. I couldn't care what he does. Like, obviously, if he didn't do anything illegal, like, and it's none of my business where he's putting it. Like, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
The only reason I want to see him putting it is the ball. Like, and I did. That was very clever. You can have that.
Let's go on Facebook and TikTok. Now.
It was ridiculous the way that man was treated, and now he's back and he's lost. I mean, I don't think he'll ever be out of pocket. I think he'll be all right because he was worth something like 250 million. I reckon he can still probably pay his car insurance. Right, he'll be fine. But that, and then you'll get like look at Bill Burr. His name's been dragged for his.
Bill Burr's always dragged through.
Misogynistic. Like a lot of his material will come across as misogynistic, but he's never apologized for it, and no one's ever like got after him really. He's still. But then you've got like. And he's quite sensibly. I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't looked into it, but he's quite sensibly avoid all this like anti-vax and all that kind of stuff. And I think he's just gone, whatever.
But it's like Dave Chappelle as well. He's constantly like,
oh god, he is tedious, man. I'm sure he's a very good comic. He's not like again. He's not my taste.
Yeah.
And but like. I've watched his like stuff about like his transsexual stuff, and you can tell it's manufactured outrage.
It's loaded. Yeah.
Manufactured outrage. I couldn't care less what he thinks about transsexuals. I could. Nobody should give a shit what anyone else thinks about transsexuals and anything like that. I'm not getting it. It's a prickly subject.
Yeah,
I understand
it really is.
But why the hell do we need to hear his splashed across thing? And it's so loaded every time he starts talking. He's just like, oh, he's a front page of a website then, and you're just like, oh, you prick.
I wonder if when you get that big, that's what you got to do. Like they kind of tell you to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, like
probably tell you like if you don't make this like, if this doesn't trigger everyone in the world, like it's not.
But comics are so. Like the comic mental makeup of a stand-up comedian. Like I try to like. I don't think I'm like a lot of them, but like the ones with the thirst it baffles me. Like they've taken all the fun. It's like they're trying to take the fun out of it, and I just can't. I can't handle that. Like I just like, and when I'm watching the ones that aren't doing comedy the way I like it, or the way, and which is again that's on me. But I watch a comic that'll be doing something completely different, and when I see them like getting really popular and people thinking, oh, that's what comedy is, I'm like, it's not. Yeah, it's much better if you go looking. Like the TV comics at the minute, there's a lot of TV comics that are absolute drivel. A lot of them have like almost sold their soul. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they start off amazing, and then they get too big, and then it's like everything goes toned down, water. Like they just water everything down. Yeah, I mean, I've watched Russell Howard is one of the best live comedians I have ever seen in my life. I used to work with him back in the day. Like he was brilliant. Like his improvisation skills with the crowd were second on. Like he was superb. But his TV stuff, it's not for me. It's like excuse me. It's like a very, very diluted version of what he used to be. But then he came out on tour again and again, magnificent, like live. But there is some comics that kind of lose it a bit, you know. When they've been on telly all the time, they come back and they've just gone through the numbers, you know. But again, it's personal preference. Like if there's a market for it, go for it. I don't think I'll ever find my market. The people just like a bloke chatting, you know what I mean? See that? I mean, I do all right. I've got a lovely following, but it's never. And you're blue tick verified as well on Facebook. I know. You know? So I didn't even know that. They never tell us. It's just appear one day. All right, fine. Which is lovely. Should you get it for Instagram as well? You should try and go for that. Like all you need is a few news articles and just it just shows that legitness as well. You know what I mean? Lovely. I do. Instagram, I think, is my favourite platform. I love doing that. I love too. I love my stories and stuff. I love putting. I love watching you on the metros. It's fucking amazing. So just angry. There's just if you don't currently follow Matt, you need to, purely for Matt's metro journeys are the funniest. Why do people behave like that on public transport? It's just That's what I every little thing that you could think of. Matt's got a story. He's rinsed someone. It's just amazing. So like and it's so footwear. Good. What are people wearing? You film a lot of people's feet. I don't know. I'm not Quentin Tarantino, but honestly, the footwear at the minute, like there's people wearing these trainers that they're just like white trainers, like with a black line down the back, and I'm looking at them and going, God, they're horrible. They've got like the big, like they look like it looks like a white millipede around the bottom. Right. So, and I found some in there. I was in Selfridges in Birmingham, just killing. If you go there, by the way, like Frankie Boyle says, if you go to any shopping centre in any major city centre, like over a weekend, you'll find a bored comedian just walking about killing time in the day going. It's usually me. Yeah. I was in Birmingham, and they've got like Selfridges where they've got like
Yeah,
high end
yeah.
clothes and all that. These trainers, like I couldn't believe it. Like they're the most horrendous looking thing. They were 800 or 900 quid a go.
Jesus.
And like all these trainers now, like the Nikes, people going mental over Nikes.
That's you with your Jordans.
I don't and if that's your thing, that's fine because I mean I'll pay over the odds for computer games and stuff like but like people with the Jordans, like they're wrapped in plastic as if they're these precious items. I was like, wait, what do you do when you talk about the plastic? I'm not putting them on. What if they get mud on?
For a name,
that's what they're for.
Yeah.
It's so your feet don't get injured. Not for nothing else.
I've worn Primark shoes for years. I get one pair of shoes every like 4 years that's worth a bit of money, and I
get Doc Martens
nice.
until my last pair of Doc Martens actually split across the bottom, like and Dr. Martens, like because I walk that much because I don't drive, and my Doc Martens actually like broke. I broke Dr. Martens.
That's commitment to wearing those shoes as well when it breaks. Yeah. I'm gonna take you back as well. Actually, you mentioned on the phone there was a gig that you did where you basically like almost walked off the stage. Do you remember when we spoke about that?
Yes, in fact, I'll tell you about the one where I did walk off stage, which
was,
go
for it. Yeah.
Just before Christmas. It was a club called Seg Hill. You know Seg Hill? Mm-hmm. Around there, Seg Hill Comrades Club, and it was a charity.
I didn't realise they had a comedy club, but yeah.
No, it's not a comedy. It's a Comrades Club.
Right, okay.
And they wanted to do a little fundraiser, so my mate Stephen Petty, bless him, he went, "Oh, can you do it?" I think it was like it was $150 on a Saturday, and I was free, a rare Saturday off, and I went, "Oh, it's up the road. I'll be back in the house by 10."
Yeah.
I went, brilliant. So I thought I'll do this gig. So I went to the Sigil Social Club, and the minute we got there, it was me, one of my best friends, Sammy Dobson, and Stefan was commentator, and he went, "I'll do a bit of commentator, and I'll get Sammy on, and then we'll have a raffle, and then we'll get you on." Raffles are like proper suicide, like at comedy gigs. But I thought, okay, look, we'll get this out of the way. It's a little thing, doesn't even matter. We've got the cash up front, which is supposed to be bad luck, but I don't believe in bullshit like that.
Yeah, you're not superstitious.
So I was like, right, I took the money. Perhaps I was wrong. But like Stefan went on, and the minute we got there, someone fell through the door. They'd been there since 2 again. "I've been watching the rugby," and I was like, "Oh, good." And they were just going to the toilet. These lads. I mean, there was no way they were hiding what they were doing. They were just going and doing lines and then coming back in. And the last thing you want to be at a comedy club is overconfident. Like, if you're an audience member, you're just like, "What are you doing?" So they're all like coming in, like, and they were like some proper like.
It's a great impression, by the way.
Proper, I know. Do you know I've just witnessed people take cocaine a lot. So he's like, all he's munching all these drugs, and they come back in, and they were just chatting like while Stefan was on. And Stefan, to be fair to him, he's usually good, but this one he wasn't having a good time, and like he'd lost them completely. And the thing is, he was trying to get them back, going, "Look, like if I was to go, look, everyone settle down. I'm settled down. Like he's been out of line." But instead, he was going, "Look, I'm not being funny." And I was like, "That's the last thing you want to tell him that." Like, "I'm not being funny." "You're supposed to." But he was doing that, and Sammy went on. Sammy Dobson, who I love. And
Sammy's amazing.
Yeah, Sammy's such a good comic. And the thing is, she's from around there. Originally, so she proper localed it up, and it was brilliant. She leveled that gig for such a difficult gig. She absolutely smashed it because she was just going, "Oh, is that building still there?" And everyone was like, "Yeah." She was like, "All right, I got my first bluzzer there." And I was like,
"Good
brilliant."
idea, yeah.
And I was like, "Brilliant." So she localed it, she postcoded it, did brilliantly, and anyway, and then just in the break, it started to disintegrate so much. Like they were just like falling about. There's people vomiting, and they were outside like smoking loads of stuff. They were coming stinking of weed, and I was just like, "Fuck's sake!" And it's okay. Like as you know, I've done worse. Yeah. But the mic was like something from Fisher Price. It was like one of those little, those little karaoke things you get for babies. It was like one of them. I was like,
"Oh right." Yeah.
It was so bad, and you couldn't get off the stage, and the stage was mild. They'd like it was the size of this room. The dance floor, and they were all round the back, so I couldn't even see them. And I went on, "You all right?" And the talk, I went, shh, "Look, I know what I'm doing. If you just be quiet." And they took offence at that. They were going, "You think you're right? Tell me to be quiet." And I was like, "Look, I don't have to do this. It's fine if you don't want us on. I'm fine." But I did like a couple of me like top draw jokes. I mean, these are like me testers. If they don't get anything, then the gig's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
And they got less than nothing. And I was like, right, this is gonna be awful. And then this lad walked across the front of the stage, like right in front of the stage, and I thought, see how the comp air work goes. I'll have a bit of. "Oh no, where you going, son?" Didn't realise this was a recognised rambling route. easy joke, nice and simple, and he just turned on, get a haircut, you fucking puff. And I was like, right. Do you know what? I went, this night is detrimental to you lot if I stay on, and me if I stay on. I went, I've had enough of this. 5 minutes, and I went, Stefan, get this. Gave him the mic, I walked off. I went, have a good night, hope you raise money for your club, walked off. And the owner like ran into the back room, and I thought he's going to want his money back, and I went, I double dare him, like, after putting up with that. And he came in and just went, so sorry for them. They were up. That was out of line. I was like, oh thank God.
You're like,
but it was such a, like, there's gigs you just can't. You can't. I couldn't.
there's no winning.
No, there's no comeback from that.
Yeah,
No one wanted that gig, and the night before, like a couple of nights before, I was in South Shields. Actually, there's a hall that does loads of dinners.
Is it the Headworth?
Yeah,
Headworth Hall. Yeah,
lovely little venue.
Yes, class. Yeah,
and I did one on the Wednesdays. It was for young carers.
Right.
I thought, oh, that's a nice cause, and people that look after like troubled kids and all that. They've got gallows humour, and I was supposed to do 20 minutes at the top, half an hour at the top. I thought brilliant. I'll be young carers, where they fetch the kids like over like 17, 18-year-old kids. So they were drinking, and they were all like, and like. Some of them were like had like disturbed, like mental problems, which is fine, but
it doesn't bode well for comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And there was like loads of tracksuited ones there, like little knacker ones. I was like, all right, lads. And there was like one bloke. He's clearly like, I think he's on the spectrum, and he was like in a full tweed suit, just going, "Ah!" like every now and again. I went, I
should laugh.
No, he was amazing. He was class. And I loved him more than any of the others. But there was another one. He was dressed like Keith Flint from The Prodigy. He had his hair up, the green thing. He had the whole like, the cyber dog type rave outfit on. Yeah. And I was just like, this is the weirdest crowd. There's no common ground there. And all I saw a group of the lasses from like. Maybe it's the where they keep them, like where they keep them. Sorry, you know what I mean? Not like this. I'm not saying they've got a pen or anything. Like this, and there's just like where they look after them, and there's just this group of, like young pretty lasses. And I thought if I rip into them, maybe that'll be fun. And one of them had dungarees on. I went, oh, it's nice of you to dress like a toddler to come out tonight. And instantly they just went, oh, who's they like? Who's it? And I was like, oh, good. And like, I mean, I got nothing because they didn't get the jokes. I mean, I was like. I couldn't relate to an 18-year-old lass, you know. I mean, I was like,
"Were you out your depth?"
Apparently, I'm not allowed actually. But
you'll be cancelled.
I've tried.
Hashtag cancel Matt Reid.
But no, it was so bad. And then at one point, the only thing that got us through, I'll do a whole section about heckling, and there's this whole bit about like who I look like. Like when I went to a school, I went and taught at horrible school in Middlesbrough, and the kids were vile, and I gave them a amnesty saying, "Who do you think I look like?" I went, "Well, you can do it if you want." And I literally stood there 15 minutes while these kids just shouted insults at us, going, "Oh, hey, that's a bit much." And I was like, the money's mine. I was like, and this one kid, the first one I got, I says, "Who do you think I look like?" And come on, I mean, and this is what I look like, and I looked very similar at the time. And one of them just went, "Adolf Hitler," and I was like, "There is no way that I look like Hitler." I says, "I mean, do you know what? That is wrong." I'm not having that. But I got some great ones though, like Matt Berry was one.
Yeah. I can see that. Did you get Chewbacca as well?
Chewbacca, Hagrid with AIDS. That was one. Noel Edmonds. All of the Bee Gees at once. My favourite was Bob Ross with straighteners.
Oh my god.
That was a good one. But I got some brilliant ones, and that like really saved that gig. But like, so I absolutely tanked, and all the staff were like, "What the fuck? That was awful." And I was sorry about that. And they were going, "Oh no, don't worry about it." Anyway, that Friday I had a cricket dinner, and it turned out I was in there as well. So anyway, I showed up again in my suit, ready to go again. And all the staff's going, "Who's booking this prick again?" And I was like, "Don't worry, I'm much better than you saw the last time." And because it was a cricket dinner, everyone was paid. I was on after John Beresford, the football player, and he was doing all his football stories, and everyone was like, because I mean, sports dinners, it's full of like ruddy. There we go, it's back. Ruddy faced men, just like.
Is that ruddy counter too?
Yeah, and so I could deal with them, you know. But there was a group I was sat with, like the youth cricketers, and I was getting on the wall proper like little fuck boys, you know. Yeah. The ones that are on TikTok.
Your favourite type of person, man.
Like on TikTok, they go like this, and then I pointed a title, going, "You won't believe this."
That's you, isn't it?
Just dreadful stuff, and I went on and I absolutely rinsed one of them, and the lads pissed themselves laughing at him. Everyone in the room was like howling. I had a really nice time.
Yeah.
And I came off and I sat down on because I was on their table, and I was like, and they were like, oh, mint, 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 mint. And I looked at him. I've never seen anyone as angry, like physically.
Ooh.
I've never seen. He was like,
Twitch.
I was like, you all right, mate? He said, yeah. I went, are you in the huff? I went, have you taken a mood with this for that? I went, mate, it's comedy, man. It's just having like, oh, well, you know, there's no bother. I'm not even bothered. I was like, oh, you are a
Tell
bit
your
on
face.
you. I was like, you are a little bit on you. And he was like, I was getting angry and angry. I was like, I'll probably go.
Yeah, it's like, how much do I prod this?
I know,
he
he definitely had access to cricket bats. I was like,
well, I want to ask as well, you did a show called Stalked.
yes.
Right. Now, we came up with another name. You mentioned another name that your friend...
Yeah,
was
Matt Fish.
Matt Fished, yeah.
Much better.
So can you
Matt
tell me
Fish.
the story about... obviously, don't go into any jokes because if you want to keep that material for the paid shows, but
No,
obviously,
it's fine.
if you want to tell us about what Stalked was about and where the story for that came about.
The story was a true incident that happened to me over like a course of 4 years, where over a very difficult time in my life, I was losing my mum, and I was messaging. I was bored, and I was I was a single lad, and I used to use like Facebook as like my little black book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just be like, and that's
DM slide.
yeah, DM slides, but like. I was never sleazy enough. If anyone went, what? And I was like, doesn't matter. I wasn't like,
Yeah, you didn't
hey,
push it.
how
You didn't push it.
yeah. And this last, like, I was chatting this last, and beautiful girl, and I was like, where do I know you from? She said, I don't know, where do I know you from? She was on me, and we got chatting for ages, and then like it escalated over the months, and then when my mum died, she went, oh, my sister's just died as well, so we're like kind of going into that and all that, and I kind of fell for her, and she was all these promises, and then just as every time I went to meet her, like I'd get a horrible message from this like horrible person that pretended it would be someone that I'd like promised I'd see again but didn't.
Right.
And sending her, I had my Facebook hacked, all of my messages taken and sent to her out of context, sent it to this lass out of context, and this is what he's really like. And I was like, whoa. I went, look, these are all in the past. This is now. And she went, oh, I don't know if I can meet you. I've been hurt again. Oh, no bother, of course. I understand. I'm sorry. But I was a bit gutted because I really liked her. I was like, no bother. Anyway, she started talking to us again. Well, look, let's arrange it. So every time I went to arrange a meeting with her, like something like that would happen. And I didn't put two and two together. You know, I was in a weird place, headspace. And it got worse and worse. So every time I ended up chasing her about the country, I ended up like looking for her. And obviously it turned out I was getting massively catfished. And
Wow.
But it was such a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I was sold on this person. And when that's the thing at the beginning of the show, I reel out exactly who she said she was, and the more that you just say it out loud, the more ridiculous it gets. I'm like, she was a half Portuguese, half Brazilian, multi-millionaire model that owned a TV company in Brazil, and like lived in London and bought a house in Yarm, and I was like,
it sounded, if that was true, you would have hit the jackpot though.
yeah, I
wouldn't you?
know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, like,
Yeah.
because I saw on top of that this beautiful girl that was like genuinely into us, and like, and she wanted to look after me, my son, me family for the. I'd never have to worry.
And
again
you're in a
about anything.
vulnerable place as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was all over the place, and so like this person, I preyed on it. I mean, it turns out who it was, it's like. It makes just as little sense as why anyone would do it in the first place, but it was such a mental time. Like I mean, and that's what. But the terrible thing about it was it showed up the cotters what they were, and it showed up that there was absolutely no point whatsoever in me attempting to do anything about it, because everything she did at the time was legal, because social media and all that is so new. The police didn't know what they were doing law-wise. Like, because I said the first two coppers I got in, I said, look, this woman I've been in a relationship with, because you've been in a relationship with her, so you've met her. I went, no, and you're not in a relationship with her then? I went, no, I was, but it was online. It was, it's not a relationship.
Yeah, long distance.
I was like, what do you mean it's not a relationship? If you've never met her, how can that be a relationship? I went, well, it was online, you know, like, we wouldn't chat to each other. I went, no, it's not. And I was like, oh, God. I went, just take my word for it, that we were. All right, well, what do you want me to do about it? I went, well, I want you to have a word with her, tell her to keep away from us. He was like, and then he said something that I genuinely couldn't believe. He just went, well, what are you worried about? It's a lass. I went,
Why?
are you
What a
fucking
good,
joking? I went, oh yeah, Rose West. She was a little tinker. What a little monkey. You know what I mean? Like, Myra Hindley. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, just a lass. I mean, do you think women aren't capable of horrible stuff? And that's how like ridiculously dated these lads were. They were horrible. But then eventually I got two lads, Trevor and Chris, and I told them the story, and they were like, then what happened? I can't believe this. Trevor, have you heard this? And then they will get right. Because I had an address like that I gained totally legally, and
wink, wink.
and I got the lass's address through a bit of detective work on my own, and I sent, and the coppers were like, "We're going," and I went, "All right, it's in Darlington." He goes, "No, it's like a film, ain't our jurisdiction." But he went, "I don't care. I want to know how this ends."
Wow, so, he was invested.
Yeah, he was. He was like, I gave them a shout out at the end of my show and everything. Nice. And like I got them in, like, and they went and dealt with it. But and then the thing is, like, I've done an interview about it before. Obviously, selling my show. I did an interview about it, like, and it appeared online. And the end of my show, the one that's up online, is the comments. This is why people don't come forward. The comments that I got on that thing, just calling us a moron. Calling us stupid. I'd never fall for shit like that. This man's an idiot. Which I don't understand why people think like that, but the insult I got was just one person managed to get it round to the Muslims, which was impressive.
Oh, impressive roundabout.
I was like, yep, there was definitely the Muslims.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Amazing.
Absolute moron. But it was a very, very weird time. Like, very, very weird. But I've bounced back.
Yeah, you have, because you've supported some pretty high-name comedians. Am I right in saying Jason Manford and John Bishop are among those?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Manford, I've supported Jason a lot of times. I know Jason very well. He's a good lad, and his shows, like, his crowd are absolutely lovely. They're really, really good. They're into comedy. They want to sit and laugh. And John Bishop the same. They love a good story, and they love a good chat. And I've had some of the best gigs I've had doing support to them, because I mean, they're massive, you know. So I think the time theatre sold out to them.
Who was the first one you supported, like, of the big names? Who was your first big name?
Oh God. Well, I did one show. 2014 it was. It's called Altitude Comedy Festival, and it's still going. It's in Meyerhofen, in Austria, and it's like you ski all day, and we've got big comedy things on the night. And the first one we had to launch it, the lineup was, I mean, it was like the Leeds and Reading Festival, the Glastonbury of comedy. We had Frankie Boyle, Jimmy Carr, Kevin Bridges, Tim Minchin. Who else was on? We had John Bishop, Joel Dommett, Daniel Sloss, Catherine Ryan.
I forgot what Daniel Sloss.
Sean Locke.
Sean Locke, man.
Sean. Do you know what? I'd never seen Sean until I'd done that, and I was doing the gala where he was closing, and it was me, Sophie Hagen, Joel Dommett, Daniel Sloss, and then Sean Locke. And I was having a lovely time hosting it, and I fetched Sean Locke, and I went, I've never seen Sean, I want to see him live. And I walked around the front, I watched about 10 minutes of him, and I just went, why do I bother? That's the best you can do. He had this line, and it just made us absolutely, he says, you're turning 40, turning 45, 50, he says, don't buy a motorbike. It's mental. Don't buy. He says, just float towards death like krill. I was like, and he was one of the most charming people I've ever met.
Yeah.
He was so lovely. And I know people say that, like, when they're dead, you know, like, oh, he was so charming. And but like, he genuinely was a lovely man. He's a big miss. Like, I think and he would help people up that he liked, you know, rather than like because he's told to. Like, I think I like you, because apparently, like, he's one of the lads that writes for him said we got on dead well, and he says he really likes me. And I thought, if I get in touch with him, maybe we can work together. And I didn't know he was sick. I didn't know he was poorly. And obviously it was all too late. And I was just like, oh, what a horrible shame.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, what a shame he died before helping me.
Yeah.
But he was such a lovely guy, and it's a genuine problem. I mean, there's people died in the set, and I've gone, oh. Anyway, but you know,
but he was genuine miss, yeah.
I mean, like, when Rick Mail died, that genuinely made us really sad, you know. And Robin Williams as well. I mean, like, he didn't have an influence on us, but like, just there was something
magical about them
Yeah,
almost.
he was so good. My girlfriend like can't watch him. She's like, he's too much. He's too manic.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Honestly, I grew up watching Mrs. Doubtfire. Aladdin was probably the thing I remember
Aladdin,
most, folks. That's me growing up.
Yeah, I think I quote Aladdin on the daily as well. Like some of the stuff he says. Like it's just me in the mood to help you, dude. I say that quite often. I'm in the mood to help you, dude.
It's amazing. Who's been like your favorite then to work with? Like, just not like who's been like the nicest personality, because you don't want to. So we're not slagging people off, but who's been like the most fun time that you've had?
The most. I've got so many good friends on the set now. One of my best mates is called Emmanuel Sonobi. Lad from London, huge. He's like massive, and he's huge, and he's I mean, like, I think one of his arms is about me. He's huge, like massive, massive black lad called Emmanuel. He's just done the Apollo and he's doing really well, and he's brilliant. And he's one of my best friends. We'll play VR golf together, like on a night.
That sounds so upper class.
It's so good. It's quality. We're like, I put it on, and he's just like, "You all right? Hey, there you are." And we'll play mini golf on me bit quest, and it's so much fun. But we always have a right laugh because we're like children. Like absolute children when we're together, and I love hanging out with him. Sammy Dobson, love hanging out with her. She's always funny.
Should we get her on, because we've talked about her a lot?
Sammy, 100%. She is one of the most fascinating. Her life is been insane. I mean, she was a regular on She was one of the characters in Biter Grove. She's been in films loads. She gets rattled in every film she's in. Like, but
Sammy, I hope you're listening to this.
Oh, she knows. She's brilliant. She's one of my favourite people on the planet. I've just getting actually. I told my agent to watch her. I went, "You've got to watch her," and my agent signed her.
Nice.
And because it was lovely. It was a lovely thing to be able to do. I'm not like saying it was me, but I pointed my agent in that direction, and she did it herself because she's got zero fucking self-belief, this girl. Like, and it's always the ones that should have.
But she's class though. I've seen
exactly.
But
like I'm like, oh, that was brilliant. Nah, that was rubbish. That gig, that was rubbish. I was like, what? So everyone in there that's just pant wetted themselves, and like, that's just them being.
They all
stupid.
did it for your ego.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, no.
I was like, don't be a dick. I went, that was brilliant, and she was like, all right, okay. And then I was like, right. Come and watch. Send a video to me. She sent this video, like when there was about 5 people in the crowd, and like they weren't really into it. And I was like, oh, she had a video of her at the Tyne Theatre doing which is on Wednesday as well. The next one, Tyne to Stand Up, the National Women's Day gala that they have at the Tyne Theatre with all the female comics, which is going to be amazing on Wednesday, by the way. And she had that where she hosted it brilliantly in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I'll not send that. I'll send this video when I was sat in a pub."
Really?
I was like,
Sammy, come on. You got to send the best one, man.
But like we're doing Glasgow. She was doing the stand in Glasgow, and I was doing the Glee, and we're having a look. Like I love Glasgow. It's a brilliant city. And I said, "Right, I'll meet you. We'll go out for we'll have a wander around Glasgow together." And it was just a really nice day. We went around all these little antique shops, and then we sat and we're having cake and coffee, and it was like, this cake, I still think about it. I miss that cake. But we're having this delicious cake, and we just sat there and we were just watching people like taking the piss out of it go past. And she just went, "I wish this was my job." I went, "What do you mean?" She went, "Like, I want to do this full time. Like, this is how I want to." And I just went, "Right, well, let's do it then." She was like, I went, "Right." So I made her, like I said to me, I said, "Come watch her." And now she's doing the Comedy Store. She's doing the Glees. She's doing brilliant, and deservedly so.
Yeah,
she's one of the best acts because she's again naturally funny. But there's acts I watch just going like, "Hello, how are you? Here is a punchline." You're like, ugh. You play a drum along to that. Dun, dun,
Do you think it's kind of going downhill a little bit, the style of comedy?
Well, I mean, like I think it's.
Or is it one of those back in my day kind of?
Yeah. I think it might be. I think it might my mum and dad thought Nirvana was noise, and it was like my favourite thing to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's just screaming. I don't get this at all. It's not music. And I was like, you don't get it, man. And which is why, like, when I'm watching some people on a podcast watch disgusting porn and like laugh at each other, going, "Oh, look, he's so," and I'm like, What's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
point?
I hear a lot of podcasts I find as well have nothing interesting enough. I love hearing people's life stories. That's why I want to do my own and stuff. But sometimes it's just like, oh, look at this DMs and stuff, and it's I don't vibe with that very well.
There seems to be like, and there's nothing against these.
Yeah, I mean they're popular.
Popular, and I know a lot of lads that do a lot of podcasts, and I love them to death. But like, I just don't. It's obviously not for me. I'm not a target audience. I'm like, I want to create something. I'd love to do a podcast where like it's what they've got, like a laddie chat thing, but without the kind of factor, you know,
the
like,
bro talk.
I
I
can't handle that. Like, like Logan Paul, I genuinely believe he's going to be responsible for a lot of people going to prison in the future because he's given them license to behave like an absolute bell end, like, and it's horrible. It's horrible to watch. Like this, and like that Andrew Tate. I hope he rots. That vile creature, like, and because I was talking to someone the other day about it, because I can't stand that whole like men are mighty, like talking like you're a No Fear t-shirt from the 90s, you know what I mean?
I remember that, bro.
Just shut up. And like he is, the worst of the worst. Like that, and he was talking to the other day, he says, my girlfriend had OnlyFans, I'd take 50% of that.
I've seen that, yeah.
And I was talking to a lad at the stand, and he was like, well, yeah, it's my girlfriend. I was like, who the hell do you think you are? I went, of course you don't get 50% of the work. It's her body, moron.
I've talked about OnlyFans of this. We had one of my mates on, and we went for like a good half an hour on Tate and stuff like that, like diving deep into it and stuff. And I think with TikTok and stuff like that, there's always going to be those people. I think there's always going to be those
100%.
Like, but do you know, a lot of them I think are actually genuine geniuses when it comes to marketing and getting that out there. Like
100%. Like the skill of being at the front is not your content, it's the skill of being at the front. It's shouting louder than everyone else in the way that gets to everybody else. I mean, like, the most vile creatures on Twitter are the ones that pop up, even though I've like getting rid of most of anything right wing in me. I can't be. Twitter is one of the worst cesspools on the planet.
I got rid of it. I fucked off. I'm on every other social media. I've even still got Snapchat, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But Twitter I avoid like a plague.
Yeah, it's all right for advertising now and again, and I'll go on now and again because like I get my news off Twitter, like just on the things, like I'll go at like news sources, not like, but this, like the right wing was like, I mean, like Piers Morgan, I've blocked him. I can't cope with that waste of cells. But then you've got people like that, one of the worst people who I genuinely don't believe there's anyone more close to a human slug than this creature, Darren Grimes. The little Tory from Durham, who's like,
I don't know. I thought you were going to say Ben Shapiro at first.
He's an absolute. Oh god.
Do you know what? I can't stop watching. Like, if I get in a run of Ben Shapiro videos, I can't stop flicking through them. There's just something about how annoying that dude's voice is.
But that's him and like this Darren Grimes, where he'll just look for the most popular opinion, and then he'll look for the most right wing thing he can say about it and go. And like I think he's in his 20s, maybe he's early 30s at most. Little gay lad and he's a Tory. I was like, they're not for you, mate. Like, so you literally, it's borderline blood money because of the violence that the Tories have caused against the gay community. It's disgusting. And like he's saying things like, Margaret Thatcher would have sorted this out, and you just say,
oh, you know, that's just.
And you're from Durham.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you can. Fuck, so far off.
It's just a popularity thing now, isn't it? It's not even like
it's not. There's nothing about what they're saying. Nah. It's not about what they're saying.
It's just, who can we rile up? How can we put people into little camps? Who can we pick on today to get the headlines?
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It's so far out of what anything I'm into. Like, but again, none of that. That's none of my business.
Sipping your tea, yeah. But you have actually been on some TV shows and stuff in your time.
Yeah,
as well. It was ITV Stand Up Britain. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh god, that's when I looked more like the Fat Dale Winton. It was the first. I think it was the first couple of months I was doing stand up. This competition came out. We'll be on telly. I mean, I made everybody watch it, and the thing is, the editing then, they didn't know how to edit a joke. So it was like there was 3 of my jokes cut together without the punchlines, so I looked like an absolute imbecile. But I campaigned in my suit. I was going, vote for me, like I vote. And apparently this kid had got up in the middle of the night and like got their phone bill up like 400 quid because he loved us as kid. When I was working at the supermarket, the kids would like hang off us, and I'd be like flinging them about and fighting with them. And I love kids. I think it's great fun, like mucking about with them, and these kids used to love us. And one of them like went to Cuba, and I was joking about, went, "Oh, yeah, fetches a cigar back, yeah." And his mother came in, she went, "He's come in for the past 3." He says, "You've been off for a week." He says, "He's come in every day this week looking for you." I says, "All right, well fuck." It's a fucking massive cigar from Cuba. And I was like,
"What a legend.
Isn't that?" I was like, she was like, "Yeah, that's all he's done all holiday, looked for a cigar for you."
Bless him.
And I was like, "Oh."
What a legend.
So I like, he got free Freddos for life. I was like, just got it.
The price of Freddos as well? Jesus Christ.
I was like, just got it. So like I was on that, but apparently he'd run the phone bill up to like 400 quid. Phoning, like keeping phone, like going. So apparently I got more votes than anyone else in that entire series.
Nice.
But I didn't get through because there was for some reason they said there's a thing, but the final was such a mess. Ed Byrne hosted it. I think Seymour Mace was in the final as well.
All right, yeah.
But like. It's proper. I mean, Dan Nightingale from Have a Word. He was with his pink mohawk.
Fucking hell.
When he was in his 20s.
Jesus.
In fact, my mate Barry Dodds has got he's got the photos up on his Facebook. I'll show you.
Nice.
Do
it.
He's got the photos up on his Facebook of Stand Up Britain. It was so funny. 2003, I think it was, or 2001. 2001.
Wow.
And then I was in this dreadful program that got one series, which Gary Bushell described as the worst television program he'd ever seen. But
Jesus, which one was that?
It's called the Sack Race.
Oh, I've got that down. Yeah, Sack Race. Yeah.
Sack Race. Aye.
Jesus, what was it?
Well, it was a hidden camera show,
right?
And you got put into this business, and you had to get fired as close to 3 o'clock as possible. But
that sounds good.
It does, but it was just so badly put together, and the rules were. You're not allowed to swear, not allowed to do anything illegal, no violence, obviously. And there was a couple of other rules, but I think mine's still online, but don't look for it because it's dreadful.
100% going to look for this. Lewis, look it up now.
It was awful. And but I got put into a comic book shop in Stoke-on-Trent. I don't know if you've ever been on Stoke-on-Trent. It's a bit of an arcade.
It's an area,
It's not a good area. So I had this comic book shop, and I just every time I pick the phone up, I'd answer it with the wrong name. Hi, Planet Time, and everyone's like, "Look, what the fuck?" It was called. It wasn't Forbidden Planet, but it was something
like that. Yeah.
But there was this horrible little rat of a lad behind the counter. He's like, the ones, in The Office, Garth Marenghi's character in The Office,
right.
He's done everything bigger, harder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, did a backflip, landed. What we worried about that? Everyone was saying, "Oh, you're a kung fu man."
Oh,
no, you
guys.
should be. He was like that.
Those guys.
And then this bloke come in and goes, "Oh yeah, you make up beaten up," and he was horribly racist. Like he said, "Oh yeah, these two Asian lads beat this mate up," and he goes, "Oh, it's not racism when they do it." And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, is this yours? He's like, what is it? This white hood. Have you left this under? And the BBC give us a phone and like that.
Oh, there's the ice cream man. He's early today. We have the office where we're at is right on the main road, and we get an ice cream van. He comes around. Nice. He's normally about 2 o'clock, so he's very early today. No one clearly wants a fucking ice cream because it's snowing outside.
I know. He's made a terrible error there. He has not looked out his window.
Nope.
But Popeye the Sailor Man as well. That's
is that what it is? I've been trying to identify that tune for so long, and I don't know where it is. He used to have a classic ice cream tune, but anyway, yeah.
That was good stuff. But so anyway, the BBC had given us a phone.
Yeah.
And the phone is, I was like, because it was like we secret phone, because
like a warning almost.
They used to keep telling us like, wind this lad up or do this or do that, like make it more interesting. So I got like a little phone, and it came out and just went, drop it with him. I went, we can't use any of it because it's not really entertaining. It's just calling out erasers. I was like, and they'll get, but just drop it. I was like, right. So at the end, when I got fired like 1:30.
Nice.
And everyone else I'd watched when they got fired, they were all like, "Oh, I can't believe!" And they were all like, "Yeah, woo!" and running out, and the bloke going, "What the hell? I've just fired them. What? That's weird." And that was at one point where so I went the opposite way.
Yeah.
When he fired me, I went, "I can't believe this. are you going to tell my girlfriend this, like, that you fired us? I wanted to make him feel bad. I was like, I can't believe you're doing this to us. This is out loud. I've been working a matter of hours, but you're firing it. This isn't even a chance. And he was like, sorry, mate, sorry, I'm sorry. I was like, nah. I wanted to make him feel, because he was such a horrible bloke. So anyway, I left out, and we were talking to I was talking to the BBC, and they were like, right, okay, we're going to send someone in, tell them what it was, and then we're going to come in and get a big reveal of you going, hey.
Nice.
And that lad came up to us, he's going, oh, I knew there was something up, and I just went, anyway, obviously I'm shaking your hand, you little ratty little prick.
Fair.
Horrible. So there was that one, and I'm not sure if there was any more on TV.
Is it something you want to do more of, do you think, as you go forward, or is it something you kind of...
Yeah, but, I mean, like, Apollo now, it's not what it was. I mean, like,
I used to love Live at the Apollo. When Jack D hosted, it was the best thing since Sliced Bread,
Yeah, it was brilliant. And now, like, it's moved away from the... There's still some brilliant acts on it. Like, Emmanuel was on, Scott Bennett was on, who's absolutely brilliant. There's some great acts on it, but there's a lot of acts that I think it's just shit. It's like, to me, again, not to my taste at all. Yeah. So, and again, it's none of my business who the
Because a lot of what me and you probably love as comedy wouldn't be allowed on TV now. Like, I used to absolutely adore Little Britain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I used to love...
I never liked Little Britain. I think David Williams is horrible. Like, there's something about him that just doesn't sit right.
Makes your skin crawl a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. He's
but I used to love Spaced as well, like Simon Pegg.
Spaced is one of the best sitcoms that's ever happened.
Yeah.
That is mental. That only had 2 series. Yeah. That was one of my favourite things. I mean, again, I quote that on the daily. Yeah. I always go, skip to the end. If anyone's like, stuff like that. I love Spaced. I think Simon Pegg's output's brilliant. Like, I mean, the Cornetto trilogy, the first 2 anyway, not keen on World's End, but... love his films.
Yeah. I love Paul as well.
Paul was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Nick Frost as well. I think he's great. But Spaced, I liked Little Britain. I wasn't that mad keen. I loved the Fast Show. That was so funny.
The IT crowd.
IT crowd's magnificent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just shame it's written by that prick in it.
Who wrote that?
Graham Linehan.
Okay.
And he's gone mad. And I mean, he wrote Father Ted. He helped write Partridge. I mean, he's such a
my dad still loves watching Father Ted. I loved Vicar of Dibley growing up as well. Anything by Richard Curtis was
Father Ted is still holds up. It's one of the funniest things I have ever. And when you gig in Ireland, a lot of the lads, because it was just, they just plucked a lot of the actors out of the Irish comedy circuit.
Yeah.
So I got to work with like Father Damo, you know,
nice.
the one.
Yeah.
Who'd you like better, Blair or Oasis? And when I got to work with him, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it's Father Damo. And you know the boring priest that comes to stay with him.
Yeah.
He is one of my favourite acts. He's called what's his name? Big lad with a moustache. Oh god, I can't believe I can't remember his name.
No.
He's brilliant though. He's absolutely brilliant, and he used to host the night on the Sunday at the Stand. I was like, I can't believe I'm on here. Nice. So cool. But it's mine. Like, I mean, like Jason Byrne, he was on. He was on it. There's just loads of the Irish comedy set used to be on Father Ted, and that was such a shame when he died.
Yeah.
That was magic, that show.
But it still lasts though. Like, you watch it now, and it's, like you said, it still holds up. Like,
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, Adel Hannon, like he's not particularly good in a lot else. He was all right in Derry Girls, but I didn't particularly enjoy him in a lot of other stuff. But in Father Ted, he was so good. That bit where he goes, "Oh, just clear. I can't sleep, Ted. I can't sleep." I was, "Oh, just clear your mind. You'll go to sleep." I don't think. It is so funny. There's that IT crowd, and I love. I mean, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've started rewatching that again.
I haven't actually seen that yet. That's one thing I haven't seen.
The thing is, like, when I write sitcoms, I've written a couple of sitcoms. I've written sketches, but it's getting seen by the right. You've got to be now. They don't ask how funny you are. They ask how many followers you got. You know.
Yeah, popularity contest.
It's now today we're being funny now.
It is. I'm just asking, just come a little bit closer to myself.
Yeah, I mean, you can't obviously you can't be completely shite. You know, like, I mean, that's you've got to have a certain understanding of it. But Christ Almighty, like some of the stuff that's passing off, like on the telly, there's a show just come on ITV now. One of the lads that writes on it is a very good comic, very good, and I love him to death. And the main lad's a good lad, but he's not a good comic. And this sitcom, let's just I'll not name it because it's a bit bitchy, but I swear to God, I have stared out of a window for 20 minutes and got more chuckles than this thing. Like, it's offensive that the money and the effort that could have been put somewhere else has been made to create this nonsense. And all the reviews are all like, you can tell the reviews are all bought.
Fake, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's all like, it's like 4 stars. Whoa, it's just packed with jokes. Who talks like that? Nobody talks like
says
that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a stock thing again. Right, we need a. It's actually, I've got this new bit on stage that I do now because my mates. There's a friend of mine who got engaged at a gig I did. I got
nice.
the lad on stage. Yeah, but they're split up now.
Oh.
And she's and she's dating again. And she went, "Have you seen this?" And she sent us this. Like thing. I think it was you have cool legs. Like that was one of the things he tried to chat her up with, and I went, has he just got a bag of compliments and a bag of body parts? And he just every now and again he just goes, right, let's see, what message will I send today? You've got exceptional lats.
Do you remember the Undateables where he's like, your eyes are as brown as the tree trunks?
Yeah, Undateables is one of the most charming things I have ever seen.
I always felt the name was so offensive, but the show itself was so cute.
Yeah,
I love
it's so lovely. I think it's just there was this one. I watched one. Like I don't think I've never cried at anything as hard as this. It's like it's like this little fat black lad, and his like, and they're all quite severely disabled, and they're all like chatting. And this one lass, he was in love with her, and she dumped him, and I don't know what. Like, and then he really loved her, and and then he finally got over it, and he started dating this. And the last, like, she was like, I actually really fancy her now, and he just turned around and went, no. And then walked off, and I was just like, boom. And it was like the end of Rocky or something. I was like, I was like, you go, son. Don't take any shit off anyone. And it was lovely.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a lovely program. At the minute, like again, like because I love comedy, but I like to put comedy into stuff. You know, like just stand up is obviously limited. Like you can't. I mean, unless you're like like Daniel Sloss with your specials, who's magnificent. I love Sloss. Or like it's Chappelle, Ramesh, or something like that. But what Ramesh does is, excuse me, that's disgusting.
Sorry.
Ramesh is absolutely brilliant comic, and he's involved in so many TV shows now that like, and that's what I want to do. I want to bring being funny into stuff. And at the minute, I've got the show. It's just sold out actually at the stand, not the Standard. At the Arc in Stockton, called "Come In and Get Your Tea," nice. And it's a cookery show because I love cooking.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah,
love cooking. Ever since lockdown, like I started cooking properly and like getting into my herbs and spices, and like every time I go to Cardiff, there's this massive spice stall, and I just like, and it looks dodgy. I just get loads of like, these little baggies of powder. And I get them in my bag. I'm like, right on the flight back, and they're all like, "Do you want to explain this?" I'm like, have a dab. It's lovely. It goes lovely with chicken that. But like, so I've gone into that. But the whole premise of come in and get your tea is like, I want to make it as northern and like as close to me as possible.
Yeah.
So I want the whole thing is, council teas when you were bands, like crispy pancakes, or like your mum made you chips and beans, or like
smiley faces. And
shit, smiley faces, turkey dinosaurs, shit like that.
Twizzlers.
But my premise is like, I get a guest in, like from the north, like a working class lad that's done well.
Yeah.
I chat to him and I go, right, what was your favourite council tea? And they'll tell us, and I've got a chef there, and they'll make that tea, but in like a high end version.
Nice.
So,
I love this.
Like my mate made like he wanted sausage, chips and beans was his like favourite tea when he was a kid. So what we did was we made this like bean and sausage casserole with like these beautiful roast potatoes with it as well. Man. So it was exactly what it was, but like proper high end.
Yeah.
And it was delicious as well. And the other lad, he hated, one of the foods he hated was pork chops. Like he got them so often and he's just so sick of them. But like the lad that was cooking, he's called Umar Butt, which is a hilarious name. Lovely lad, Indian chef, and he made these pork chops, and we're in this tiny studio that's about this size, but you can get about 90 people in.
Actually bigger than this. Tiny little loft.
But it's a tiny little venue. The upstairs at the Arc, they've got this smaller venue, and we've got the cooking, and when he's cooking, everyone in the whole crowd's just going out,
Salivating, yeah,
and it
yeah.
smells so good. And you chat to it, and then you chat to the crowd about like, what's your favourite tea? Like, there's an intro, like one of my videos up online about like me introducing it. I said, what's your favourite tea? And he goes, Sunday dinner. I was like, all right, you extravagant bastard. I just pop it in for tea every night. What's the tea? A Sunday roast. I was like, what are you having for afters? A whole hog. Thanks very much, man. Like, who are you, Henry VIII?
Putting on a full spread.
Chucking chicken drumsticks over his shoulder.
Across the state window and like, oh
A
man.
wild boar, please, mater. But it's such a nice little thing, and I love like bringing comedy into stuff like that.
Yeah.
My ideal thing in the world would be like either a video game, because they tried to bring it back again, but they tried to overdo it. Games Master back in the day when with Dominic Diamond.
Yeah.
I'd love to do a video game, comedy video game.
Nice.
They tried it with 8-Bit with Dara O'Brien, that, because I know Dara's a big video game fan as well, and he tried it with that. But I mean, it's not about now, so it obviously didn't do that well. Or a film thing. I used to host a film quiz at the Stand called Gag Rails with me mate Hal Branson, and it was so much fun. And we'll get the crowd to draw their favourite film star or film character, and I had to guess what it was from the drawing. People cannot draw. They are the worst. But the drawings they make are absolutely brilliant. I got a few printed onto t-shirts, they were that good.
Jesus.
Like really simple. There was one of the Thing, the head,
the
thing,
where
the legs come out.
Yeah.
And this person had drawn it. I went, unless you're 14 or 9, I want to know why you draw this badly. And there's people like Tarzan and his arm, like one of his little arms holding onto the thing, and the other arm's like this big banana thing coming around, like swinging it. I was like,
what is this?
You've got to have some perspective.
Oh, you would hate. I would never do well on that because I cannot draw to save my life. I did actually get one staged at the Stand once. Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but I was on a date a long time ago. It was the first date, and we were in the crowd. We weren't at the front row, but we were like sort of obviously you've got like the semicircle around. We were like 3 back or something, and the guy was like had these cards out or a book or something. And I had to read, like whoever he got on stage, I had to read from them. And he says, I normally get a guy with glasses to do this bit. And I went like this, as a joke, trying to make her laugh. And he went, I've seen you take your glasses off, get up. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I should have saw that coming, Jane.
What have you learned?
But I was just like, oh shit, I'm on the stage at the Stand in front of the fucking cowboy with a gun and that. But it was, do you know what? The date went really well because of that. Yeah, I think she admired my balls to actually get on stage. So
she admired your balls, then went home
and
admired your balls.
Well, that's the story for another time, man. But I'm curious, just to kind of to round up our episode here. You've recently started a tour, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm putting together a tour. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I did that. I did my big show, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah, I want to talk about that. So, how did that come about? Is that your first? Is that your biggest one you've ever done?
Yeah, 100%. It was one of the best nights of my life. It was at the Tyne Theatre in January. But before that, I put on solo shows a lot, like our show, and I usually it sells well. But then the Stand, I put one on called Armageddon, I put one on called An Hour of Your Time. Just I like to keep this simple because people know what to expect with me.
Yeah.
So I go on and I talk to the crowd and say how it goes for an hour, and then but there was a builder in, and I was talking to him, and I said, all right, look, it's just Putin was threatening the planet with bombs at the time. It's the end of the world. Could you build us a bunker? And he goes, how big do you want it? And I went, palatial. And he was like, right, okay. He says, I could. I says, okay, right. We're talking like, how big? I said, okay, right. There was 300 people in. I went, like, 300 people.
Yeah.
And could you fit us all? And he says, aye. I says, how much? He goes, ooh. I went, actually, it doesn't matter. I'll not pay you. It's the end of the world. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? And so I went, okay, like, we'll get all the materials together. What will you need? And then I started getting people together that could build it for us and what we needed in the bunker. And then I started getting people. I said, well, I need to fill it with people.
Nice.
I went, you've got to convince me that that you're worthy of my new civilization. So and people, if people think there's a prize, they'll go mentally. They will go and like, oh right, I can do this. So it was a lovely way to interact. And then I went, there's something in this. So my next show is called Armageddon, which is I've got the last bunker in the world, and you've got to convince me that you can get into the bunker and be part of my civilization. So that's what I'm doing on April 30th as well, and one in September, and I did that, and just after I'd done the Hour of Your Time, and I sold both of them out, and I was like, that's 600 people. And I was like, surely I can do a bigger room. Let's say just as a special treat for me, and I charge a little bit more, and just have like a one-off like big show, and so I got in touch with the lads for Felton Out, the Northeast Comedy Collective.
Yeah.
And I said to them, look, is there any chance that we can, do this at a bigger venue? And they went, wait, how about the Town Theatre? I went, brilliant.
Nice.
I went, I'd love to do that. And so they put it up and they gave us the details back, and I was just like, yeah, it was all very, very above board, and they were very good.
It's very quick turnaround. Just go, fuck it, I can do this.
But that's the thing, you've got to do that, because if you go hum ha, you'll not get it done. And to be honest, I am humming and hawing about this tour. I really need to start on it, and get some things booked in, because my dates are going on normal nights, so I need to pull my bloody finger out as well. I need to. But so anyway, I was so I booked it, and right at the beginning, because I had so many people, and I said to them, look, I'm doing this big show, come along to it.
Yeah.
And the sales, as soon as I put it on sale, were flying. I got up to like 300, and I was like, bloody hell, if I just sell out the bottom floor, that would be incredible. It'd be such a good night. And then there was nothing, like for just on a week, because they gave us the website to check my sales.
Yeah.
So like every now and again I'd check it, like I say every now and again, at least 3 times an hour. And it was just like one week I'd have 3 tickets sold, 6 tickets. And I mean, it was creeping up, but like Christ, I had 6 months, and I was just like of desperation, just going. And it kept ticking, and then 2 weeks beforehand, never say it. It was just like the numbers started flying.
People
up.
just made that decision to go. Yeah.
And I was backstage, and they just texted us to go final score, and I went, what was it? It was 981, and I was like, what?
Nice.
And we get 981. My brother had got their tickets early because he was helping us out. He goes like, we'll come along with you. So it was him, me nephew, and his wife, and one of their mates came, and they got tickets out, so they were down the front, and I was sat right at the side. And my brother obviously didn't have access to sales figures, and I'm just his brother. I'm not like a comic to him. Obviously, I'm his brother, and he was sat there with his wife, and he's looking about, and he's seeing like all these people spilling, and he was like,
"Fuck's going on?
Fuck is happening here?" He goes, "Why is everyone here to see Matt?" He's like, "This is weird." And I mean, even I was like looking out, and just like, and at the end, like I was that like I had such a lovely gig. It was I had Lee Kyle on opening. It was lovely. And I had such a lovely gig, and at the end, I was just I tried to thank them, but my voice went, and I went, I'm gonna have to go. Like I couldn't speak. I was just so moved. I was just so delighted with the way it had gone. I was just like, "You're incredible. Thank you so much." And it was one of the best nights I've ever had. It was so good, man.
Man, I wish I could have made that as well.
I've got a date for March next year.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing it again.
Amazing. Did Jay Dawson film that for you?
Yes, he did.
Good for him.
He sent us the footage, and the footage is absolutely lovely. And I've put loads of timestamps, so I'm going to get loads of that chopped up in a little bit.
Will we see a DVD or anything in the future? Or?
I think DVDs might be dead now. I think
maybe streaming service or something.
I think I'm going to put it up somewhere.
We will catch you on Disney Plus.
But the thing is about what I do, right, which is one detrimental thing about how I do comedy, is a lot of it is absolutely dependent on you being there. Because I've watched a lot with Ross Noble. I've watched his DVDs and I've laughed, and there's been some very, very good jokes. And with mine, there's some good jokes or some good set pieces. Yeah. But a lot of the best laughs are being in the crowd. And like, some of the jokes are shit, but they're so quick. Like that's what. Every time I go on stage, I say, well, "Shit, but quick." That's my motto. If it's quick enough, like it'll be good, you know. Yeah. And a lot of that comes down to being there on the night. It's the vibe, it's the energy that matters the most. You don't get through DVD. Live comedy is the best night out you can have, I think. There's nothing touches it. Touches it. Like, and there's a lot of people who've still never been to a live comedy show, and when they do, that becomes their thing. I was at Red Raw like every other night. Every other week I was there at Red Raw because I absolutely loved it. I've seen loads of comedians come and go. I think I want to double date there as well. Just seem to go on dates to the stand. And it was totally forgotten his name, from up here. He's really big. What's his fucking name? Ramsey. Yes, Chris Ramsey. Yeah, he just appeared and he was just on, and we were like, "Oh shit, Chris Ramsey's here!" Like, what the fuck? Like, it happens a lot at Red Raw. You get some really good comics. Ramesh was on once when I was there. Wow. Dylan Moran. He showed up. Who's one of the best comics I've ever seen. Who else was it? The other week, Kevin Bridges was doing Newcastle, and he popped in to do some new stuff before the night before.
Shit.
So
I was there. I was there for that, for the Newcastle gig. Not in the stand, but I was there for his Newcastle gig.
Before that.
Fuck's sake.
He popped in the stand, did 15 minutes, and he stuck to his time, which is mental, because he could have gone on all night and no one would have whinged. Even the lads that were on Red Rover were gone, let's just watch one of the best comics that's ever been.
Yeah,
because Kevin Bridges is phenomenal.
He's so good.
Genuinely one of the best I've ever seen, that boy.
Yeah.
Like that stuff he does about like FIFA playing in the background at a party. And like
his empty house, and empties and stuff. Yeah.
And everyone thinks like eventually like these are all wasted, and you look and you forget it's FIFA, and you think to yourself, when did Dundee play Colombia? One of the best lines I've ever heard. I was wet me so that. But he's a genuine good lad.
He seems like such a sound bloke as well.
Such a nice bloke.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Amazing. So Matt, what is next for you? What can we expect? Obviously, apart from your tour, what's next for you? Where do you think you're going to go from here?
Well, the thing, I'm not entirely sure it's up to me. It's up to how the industry's looking at the minute. Mm-hmm. But what I want to do is, I've written lots. The BBC came up here with this grandiose thing, like BBC Newcastle City Comedy, we're here to help, and it was like my mate called them out, like Lee called them out at the first meeting. It was hilarious. He just started, and they'll get, question from Lee. He goes, this is all just noise, isn't it? It's lip service. You're just going to pat us on the head and then go off and give us nothing, aren't you? And they'll get, no, we've got it. Sure enough, that's exactly what it was. It's absolute. A couple of people who've already been ordained, they've been helped. I mean, even the Northeast Comedy Showcase that they had, the stand-up comedy showcase, I think it was about 5 people from the stand-up out of 15 people. 5 of them for the Northeast. The rest of them were like London or Manchester acts. Yeah. And fair play to them. I've hold nothing against people for that. You've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But like, don't call it a Newcastle comedy showcase when you showcase loads of people. And then they showed us a load of like, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, because they showed like they had this thing on where it was like, we've got loads of workshops for you. We've got loads of famous people coming in and tell you how they did it, and every single one of them to the man going, well, I had a friend in production that, and I was like, so it's nepotism. Yeah, like, every single one was nepotism, and I was just like, well, there you go. So I've kind of but what Have a Word, which is brilliant. What Have a Word's showing us is you don't need the industry. You can do it yourself now. Yeah. Because I mean, look at this. You've got the entire setup here to do whatever you want to do. Yeah. And this is as good. This is good.
This does for now. I think for me as well. Like I love having this little studio. Like obviously you paid for everything myself. And it just works. Like I quite like it. So,
it's perfect. Like if you've got a quiet room in your house and you can like say Have a Word, they've absolutely smashed the industry apart. Like they've got I think they're closing in on 21,000 patrons at a minimum of £3 to £5 each, and a lot of them are on £10 patrons. So I mean they're clearing something like, I don't know, like closing in on 80, 90 grand a month.
If only. You'd never know. This is, I think you are episode like 8, 9, something like that. So we'll see where it goes. But Matt, I massively appreciate your time coming here today. I really enjoyed it. Where can people find you if they want to follow you and check out your stuff? Instagram is my favourite form of entertainment. It's Matt Reid Comedian, MA, I think it's 1T and REED, Matt Reid _comedian. And then Twitter, Reid_Matt, because I like with 1T, because I like to change things around, just to keep you on your toes. Like a floor mat, Matt Reid Comedian on TikTok as well. I'll put stuff on there occasionally, and Facebook's just Matt Reid, MATTREED, and just I am literally in every single town coming up. Every single Selfridges. People always say that. When you're down here, just keep looking. I'll be there eventually. I'm always there. I mean, this week, where am I this weekend? Manchester this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the Comedy Store. And then next week, Manchester for the Frog and Bucket for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So some good ones coming up. Amazing, Matt. Look forward to it. So thank you very much for listening, guys. If you enjoyed it, please obviously give it a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, everything like that. And I will see you in the next episode.